Welcome back to Bangkok, everybody. Now, today is a feature-length video because I'll be breaking down all of the best places to stay on your next visit to Bangkok. This incredible city is so huge, so full of culture, full of things to see, things to do, food to eat, and places to stay. It can seem really overwhelming. And so in this video, I'm going to break down the 7 most interesting and unique neighborhoods to stay in. We're going to be looking at lots of different places this week, from the historic streets of the Old Town to the hidden green paradise of Bang Krachao. We'll also head to the buzzing streets of Chinatown, where we will stuff our face and explore the whole area on foot, as well as eating in only Michelin-guided restaurants for an entire day. Now, I'm not expecting you to watch the entire video in one sitting. You can keep coming back and enjoy it in chunks, but the description will be full of the show notes, the locations of the hotels, the neighborhoods, the places I eat. Everything that you see in this video will be listed in the description. So without further ado, let's go to our first neighborhood. So where better to begin than the Old Town, aka Phra Nakhon, home to Khao San Road, the Grand Palace, and many incredible streets, bars, street food stalls, and just a really unique and obviously old part of the city. Let's begin with 24 hours in Bangkok's Old Town. This week we are back in Bangkok, and I'm spending another 24 hours, this time in the heart of the city, in the Old Town. This part of the city is famous for so many reasons. You've probably heard of Khao San Road. Don't worry, we will be featuring that in this video. But to help me explore and learn even more about this area, we're going to be on foot as normal. We're going to be jumping on Zelda for a little bit as well. And I'll be joined by Bangkok Pat. He does incredible bespoke walking tours, and I've borrowed him for a few hours so we can get to see some awesome places I hope none of you, including me, have ever seen. I'll feature the food, good cocktails, live music, and I've found a great hotel that I really want to recommend no matter what your budget is. So sit down and relax for another 24 hours in the best city in the world. I'm going to start on Khao San Road because I've got a very important story to share. The story of kind of why I started this 24-hour in Bangkok series to show you that there's more to this incredible city than just this one street, because for so many years, including when I first came to Thailand, I thought this was Bangkok. I thought everything outside of the street was just residential homes and God knows what else. It was just all a mystery to me. And so I thought Khao San was the only place. Back in 2008, when I wanted to go on my first big international trip, when I wanted to go further afield than just going to a resort with my family, I decided on Southeast Asia, and I decided on coming to Thailand. And what I did was I bought every single Lonely Planet from the bookstore where I lived. And so I had the book for Thailand, the book for Laos, Cambodia, Indonesia, and even Vietnam. And I then bought another journal and a scalpel and some Pritt stick, and I cut out all of the important sections of the Lonely Planet and glued them into this journal so that the journal was in order of this itinerary that I'd come up with for me and my best mate Dave. Basically your typical Southeast Asia backpacker's loop, right? Because back then there was no YouTube like travel vloggers, right? That didn't exist. So the first night I arrived, me and my buddy, we got off the plane, jet lagged, tired, but excited. And immediately we got scammed by a taxi driver. Back at Suvarnabhumi airport, they didn't regulate the taxis like they do now. And there was some man with a laminated piece of paper, and he pointed to, different areas of Bangkok. We told him that we wanted to go Khao San Road, and he only charged us 2,000 baht for the privilege to take us to Khao San Road. 16 years later, it would only cost you around about 500 baht. So we got scammed straight away. And on the way, he told us that Khao San Road was unreachable because of a protest. There was no protest, but this is what he told us. And he took us to Nana Plaza, and he took us to his friend's hotel for us to stay and to feel safe. But we, at the time, didn't realize that he was lying, and he was just sending us to his friend's hotel where he probably made commission. So we got scammed straight away, and then we got taken to a hotel in a different part of the city that we didn't want to go to. but we had to just go with it because we didn't know any better. That night we ended up having a crazy night out. We got super drunk, we ate some dodgy street food, and we woke up the next morning feeling really hungover, and we had food poisoning. We checked out of where we were, took a taxi to Khao San, and we checked into the Khao San Palace, which is this hotel right in the middle of the street. And we were so hungover, and I was throwing up, and I had diarrhea, and I was really not feeling it. But we mustered up a little bit of energy, and we came along this street looking for some fun, and a tuk-tuk driver, you know, beckoned us over, and he said, "Where do you want to go? I'll take you to this palace, I'll take you here, I'll take you there, and I'll only charge you 20 baht for the privilege." And I thought, wow, that's so good, that's like less than 50 pence. So we signed up and we got in the tuk-tuk and we drove around for like 3 hours, and he took us to suit shops where we were pressured to buy things. He took us to gem stores where we were pressured to buy things, gold stores, and God knows where else. And it was just a really stressful experience. So being incredibly hungover, having food poisoning, and spending 4 hours in a tuk-tuk getting scammed left, right and centre, getting scammed at the airport by the taxi drivers, and having a crazy experience in the evening around Nana Plaza. That's a whole different story. I remember coming over to this bar across from where I'm at now. It's called Lucky Beer, and I sat down and I nearly started crying. Because I'd bigged up this trip to everyone back home. I'd spent months planning it, months saving up for it, and I was so excited to have a great time, a life-changing experience. And within 24 hours, I was desperately trying to figure out a way of going home, of calling it quits, getting back on the next flight to England. And I was trying to think of an excuse. How can I make up, you know, a lie that will tell people back home that I had to come home for some reason, and it wasn't because I was hating it and that it didn't live up to what I thought this place was going to be. That night, we had a few more beers and we met a few more backpackers, and we changed our travel itinerary to go with this new group of people that we met on Khao San Road. We became best friends forever. We traveled around northern Thailand, went into Laos, went into Cambodia, went into Vietnam, even worked in a bar together in Malaysia. And I think about 7 or 8 weeks of the most incredible experience of my life, I finally went back to the UK. But I just remember that first 24 hours in Bangkok with the scams, the food poisoning, the hungover, just not knowing anything about this city and about this country really at the time. It made me think, in 2024, there's probably someone somewhere watching this video going through the same existential crisis. You might be thinking, oh my God, I've come all this way, I've spent all this money, I've made all these plans, and I hate it. And it's not because you're on Khao San Road. You could be anywhere. You could have landed in Phuket, you could have landed in Vietnam, you could have landed in Phnom Penh. Wherever you are, if you're having a bad time, just remember, you have good days, you have bad days. After that bad day, everything got better. I made friends, I moved around, I learned more, I saw more. Okie dokie, I thought we could begin with a little bit of lunch, and not just any lunch, but probably one of the most delicious places you can get food in this area of Bangkok. I've gone for 3 different dishes over rice, and it cost me 150 Thai baht. I went for the salt and chili crab meat, which is really succulent, big juicy clumps of crab claw meat. I also went for the prawns. They just seem to be fried in a little bit of chili and a bit of butter. And then I went for the sweet pork. It's fatty and very sweet, so I've cut that with some of the soy sauce with chili and garlic, you know, the super spicy seafood dip that you can get here in Thailand. This will be a fantastic lunch. Oh my God. If you like honey glazed pork, this is so sweet, this is so delicious. And then you've got that spicy, freshly cut chili and soy sauce dip on top, just to cut that sweetness. Absolutely incredible. What a great start to the day. We can explore, we can walk around for hours, knowing that our belly is just full of so much nutritional goodness from the ocean. And as well as a little bit of pork as well. I'll tell you what I'll do whilst I'm here. because I'm on my way to my accommodation. If you've ever wondered what this red gate thing is behind me, right? Believe it or not, this actually used to be a working swing where people would swing, obviously, really difficult and high swing in order to try and reach a bag of money, a bag of coins or a bag of notes during a very famous Buddhist festival. And they built this in the middle of the city to mark the center of Bangkok with this structure, with this swing, and they actively used it. However, they had so many accidents and fatalities whilst people were doing the festival and swinging up and down that they ended up just cancelling the whole swinging thing because it was very dangerous. But anyway, just a little side note, little thing there. I'm sure you've seen this. It's near Khao San Road. We're nearly at the hotel. But yeah, if you were wondering what that is, that's what it is. Okie dokie. Welcome to my hotel. I hope you're going to like this place because I thought that you would absolutely love it, and this is the reason why I wanted to stay here. Number one, it's within walking distance to everything that we're going to be doing for the rest of this video and exploring the Old Town. We are 5 minutes from Khao San Road, 5 minutes from the river, and 5 minutes from, well, everything that you'll see later in this video. It's also extremely affordable and good value in my opinion. Now, I do have the most expensive room, okay? This cost me 4,090 Thai baht for one night, but that's because we are in the King's Suite. So there's one room here that there's a big, generous sofa actually. You can really lay down and chill out and put on some Netflix and watch your favorite show because there's a plasma screen here, smart TV. And then in the bedroom, it's huge king-size bed. But as you can clearly see, huge bedroom, and just behind the bed actually are two sinks. So this is perfect for a couple or, you know, romantic getaway. So there is a balcony, and out here, there is the bathtub, which you can fill up and be as romantic as you want. And you even have a blind for privacy. Another reason why I decided to choose this hotel, guys, is they have a swimming pool. And right now, a lot of the travelers and backpackers are enjoying the sun, enjoying a gorgeous afternoon here in an older building, but they've actually rejuvenated it quite nicely. There's parking here as well. I've got Zelda parked up nicely. You can actually stay in a dorm room here. That's one of the other reasons why I chose this place, because in the other building they have dorm rooms that you can stay at for as little as 500 baht per night. Hello, hello.
Complimentary.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can put it on the table. So they've given me something to apologize because I wasn't able to check in on time. Check-in time was supposed to be 2 o'clock. I got here at 2:30 and the room wasn't ready until just 5 minutes ago, right? So nearly 45 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes late. I'm not bothered, but they wanted to say sorry. So they offered me a late checkout and some kind of, what is this, like an afternoon tea selection. We've got brownies, cookies, which I can't eat because I'm on a diet. Some sugary things, they look delicious, but I can't eat them. We've got some jars with fish. When it comes to exploring Bangkok in these 24-hour deep dives, I don't really deep dive. It's only 24 hours, right? If we're going to be using the metaphor of the ocean depth as a level of how far we are exploring the area, we're simply splashing on the surface in comparison to my friend Pat, who I'm going to introduce you to in a moment. I'm just here at the pier. He's coming down to meet me and he's going to help me explore for the next few hours and take me to 3 really interesting places that he promises that I won't have known or seen before and that tell a really interesting story. Bangkok Pat has not only an incredible YouTube channel where he deep dives into seemingly every nook and cranny of this city, whether it's in Sukhumvit, whether it's in the Old Town, Chinatown, anywhere, he can go back in time and tell you really interesting stories about the airports, about the railways. If you really want to get lost in the knowledge and the history and the fascinating things about this city, then not only should you head over to Bangkok Pat's channel, but also his Facebook page, because that's where you can book him for him to take you on a walking tour. I think you just let him know what part of the city you're interested in, and he'll walk you around and give you a tour.
Shot a video with Rob, he complained I walk too fast. And I do sometimes, because I'm used to being alone filming. Yeah.
Okie dokie, here he is, the handsome Bangkok Pat himself.
Cheers, Paddy.
Just a quick question while we are here, just before we start. Why is the old town of Bangkok so underdeveloped compared to somewhere like Sukhumvit, which is where I live?
Well, this is where Bangkok originated, where it was first built. The area around the Grand Palace, all that. In the general area of the old town, within the limits of the 3 moats, there's a law that says any development has to blend in with the local area, and it can't be more than 8 floors.
That explains it.
Yeah. So it's a good law to have, because as soon as you leave like the Sukhumvit and the modern area, and you see all this, it's like, oh, I didn't know it was like this. This is really, really nice.
Absolutely. Right then, let's go to the first spot. I'm excited to see where we're going. Right, this isn't actually part of the tour, but Pat's just told me something very interesting about this building. What is it?
Well, this building, as it is now, is an old palace that belonged to a prince. He was gay, and he very much loved theatre and the arts. And he built part of it into the first ever drag theatre, public drag theatre in Thailand in the 19th century, like the second third of the 19th century. So that's where your first sort of guys dressing up in women's clothing would have strutted their stuff on stage.
You can still hear the echoes of "Hello, welcome."
Yeah. All right, Paddy, this is an interesting spot because we're literally a couple of 100 metres from the Grand Palace, just up there. And that's where all the tourists tend to sort of stick to. You know, your Wat Po, Temple of the Emerald Buddha. And if they just strayed off the tourist path a little bit, they'd see places like this. Behind me, this is a architecturally famous old building. It was built in 1931 by a company that made, I believe, like Indian saris and Persian clothes out of silk, and that was the company name, who were established in 1896. And then if you walk further down, you get to the giant swing and everything. So there's a lot of historic buildings and stuff that's just nice to look at, you know, because I always moan that tourists never stray off the beaten path, and I think this is a classic case there because there's just so much to see down here. And then there's a temple, I'll show you in a minute, which has probably a more impressive history than any of the ones up the road that people pay big money to get into. So this temple is a couple of 100 metres away from the sort of tourist temples up the road. It's slightly off the tourist beaten path and no one comes here. Yet historically it is just as interesting as the ones where people go to. It's called Wat Ratchabore Pit, and it's got the royal cemetery on the other side, which is all the memorials of the royal family members who have passed on. But it's one of the most, how can I say, it's one of the most beautiful temples in Bangkok, put it that way. When you're travelling to Bangkok for the first time and you're only here 3 or 4 days, you want to stick to where you know. So finding this place would be a lot to ask for someone new to Bangkok. This is one of the places I take people if they come on a walking tour and we're passing through the old town. and they say, oh, what are the nicest temples? We'll cut through here. Yeah, this is one.
Yes, it was a gorgeous temple, one I'd seen as I'd driven around before but never gone inside, and to learn just how important it really is and how gorgeous it feels to walk around the grounds. I was very happy that Pat took us in here, and the cemetery in the back of the temple where all of the monuments to past members of the royal family are laid to rest, it really was beautiful. And we grabbed a really delicious handmade coffee by this gentleman down some random alleyway, and then it was time to visit the last spot in this mini walking tour with Pat, and he knows me very well, so he chose to take me to a park. Okay, we've survived the rain dump, and we've come to a park, and not just any old park, but a very interesting one. I had no idea it was here.
These are the old prison watchtowers. This park was Klong Prem prison up until the early 90s, and then they moved to somewhere on the suburbs, but they've still got the cell blocks over here.
Oh, really?
And the original buildings were based on Brixton Prison in South London.
Wow. And did the prisoners have all of this beautiful green space to enjoy back in the day?
I'm sure they would have had small pockets of it for exercise, but it's now a place where people jog. They got the noisy aerobics. And there's weights, there's a gym for £100 a month around there. But yeah, it's an odd place to put a prison. And when I was reading up on it, it was always very overcrowded.
I honestly didn't have a single clue that inside the heart of the old town was a park, and I was really thankful to learn and to walk around it with Pat. A fun fact about Pat is he always carries cat food with him. He has a soft spot for the felines, and so whenever we see any stray cats, he always has a bag or two of yummy cat food for them to feast on. Okay, Pat, thank you so much for that little mini walking tour. I got to see some places I've never even knew about or experienced before, so that was really cool. I really liked the prison park. That was really up my street.
Absolute pleasure.
I've got to nip back on Zelda and take these guys to a few evening spots, like where to get a beer near Khao San Road. If Khao San Road's a bit too busy or it's not really your vibe, I've got some really good places for you, so stay tuned for that. But thanks again. And how can people reach you and get on a tour or
Facebook or any video of mine? There's a link underneath, or email.
Yeah, and it's not just
line.
It's not just the old city, is it? They can go. I mean, I've seen you actually do walking tours over in RE in the newer part.
People give me ideas where they want to go, what they want to see, anywhere in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And then I piece together something.
Get in touch with him if you want to see this city from a different perspective and actually learn something.
I've got to say, I'm sorry I was late. I was arguing online with a troll. And do you know what he said?
What did he say?
He said Paddy Doyle supports a crap football team. And he didn't realise I support the same team. So I was back and forth with him for about an hour, and it made me late.
We are back on Khao San Road. If you watch the intro, the sort of opening monologue, as it were, this is where I was. I've now ordered some ice because the beer does not stay very cold for very long in the tropics. I recently came here to enjoy my friend doing stand-up comedy. There is a stand-up comedy club on Khao San Road, which is a really great place to go, but it's down the alleyway, really hard to find unless you see people flyering on the street. But I will leave it in the description because I think it's a great place to go on Khao San Road to get away from everything. But when this show finished and we came down here in the evening, it's just unbearable. It's literally incomprehensible how you can actually sit down and have a drink on this street in the late evening time because every bar is blasting music so loud. But after a long walk with Bangkok Pat today and just, you know, making a video about the old town and obviously highlighting Khao San, I can't not show you Khao San Road and talk about my experience here and why I love it, and also why sometimes I hate it. But overall, it's still somewhere I think you should come and have a little look. But what happens if you don't really feel the vibe on Khao San Road and you want to get away from the crowds and the really loud music? Well, don't worry, I'm going to show you a few spots that are within walking distance that I think you would really like. The first one is Soi Rambu Tree. This is just one street away from Khao San Road, but what a difference a street can make. Instead of it being lined with street sellers and people trying to sell you things and beckon you into bars, it's lined with trees and birds and squirrels and lanterns in the sky, and it's a really calm, peaceful street. Of course, you can still get a good drink down here, cocktails, beers, live music, but more acoustic based, and a few cafes and a few restaurants and a few hotels that you can get away from the madness. If you keep going, you'll head towards the river, and I've got a spot for you that I think you'll really like, especially if you like sunsets and craft beer. 5-minute walk down Rambu Tree, and you keep going through a little alleyway, you'll get spat out at this little line of bars and restaurants actually here on the river. It's absolutely gorgeous, especially in the afternoon sun as the sun's going down. It is really truly stunning. There is a place that I recommend you come called Sheep Shank. It's a craft beer place. I've just ordered and had a delicious peach pale ale. It was tangy, it was fruity, it was sour, it was great. But as you can see, there are a few trendy restaurants, a few cocktail bars, as well as Sheep Shank right behind me here. Good place to get away from everything if Khao San is too busy and Rambu Tree is a bit quiet. Here's a spot I bet you never knew about. Down by Khao San is this little park. It's quite small, but it's on the river, and this is where the locals come to fly kites, play badminton, sit in the shade, especially in the afternoon. It's quite family friendly, and it's a good date spot as well. If anyone is in Bangkok and you are on Tinder and you match with a backpacker and you want to impress someone, bring them here. It might just open their eyes to a new part of Bangkok, and you might just look really cool, because it's kind of unbeknownst to me until I just stumbled across this along the Klong. And there is a beautiful white fort or some kind of military installation. It's very beautiful, completely free to enter this park and enjoy the shade, a little bit of local lifestyle amongst the touristy craziness of this area. A great little find. Yeah, that park was, for me, the biggest surprise of my entire filming process for this video. I had no idea it was there. But then I jumped on a grab and headed to a rooftop bar that I heard was fantastic. Lots of stairs to get up there, but I promise you, it will be worth it. Well, I think it's safe to say that this is one of the best finds that I've done on this series in a bloody long time. A rooftop bar with a view like this in Bangkok is almost impossible. And the beer prices and the selection is just incredible. And I've ordered some delicious lab mu tod, which is the view from this bar might not be the highest in the city, but my gosh, it's got to be one of the most beautiful. And I really enjoyed watching the sunset and the afternoon turn into evening over a few cold beers and some delicious lab mu tod. Around 8 p.m. I decided to get a grab back over to Khao San Road area, but instead of hitting the strip, I went to a nearby blues bar where, as you can imagine, they have live blues, good cocktails, and one of my favourite bars in the city now. If you want to know where it is, just check the description along with all of the locations that I have featured in this video so far, as usual. But yeah, this blues bar, fabulous, great spot to bring someone. And if you're on that date after that little sunset afternoon stroll in the park, bring them here. I promise they'll be very impressed.
knocking. Somebody knocking on my door.
Had a great evening last night. It was an early night for me though. I think I was in bed by 9. A couple of beers in the day normally sees me off nice and early, to be honest, these days. And I have come for a really authentic Thai breakfast dish. The hotel that I'm staying at does include breakfast, guys. It does include breakfast, but you know, bacon, eggs, and processed meat sausages aside, I thought I would go for something a little bit more authentic and certainly more delicious. So just around the corner from the hotel, and actually a stone's throw from the white fort that we were at earlier in the video, is this place. It's called Braised Beef Nai Sui, which is obviously a recommendation from my good friend Gary, the roaming cook. And he recommended me this place because it's got beef short rib noodle soup with Chinese spices and garlic and pak choy. That beef literally just falls apart in your mouth. 10 out of 10. Thank you, Gary. I thought I'd finish the video in, I think, my favorite spot from this entire exploration of the old city, and that's this little fort park here. Very rare in Bangkok that you get such a gorgeous breeze, a fantastic view of the river, and a gorgeous park with birds, grass, and a beautiful historical fort in the background. Really quite stunning, especially in the early morning light. Okay, just before we get onto the second neighborhood, I just want to say a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. If you're in the marketplace for a VPN, maybe you need to renew, we've got a really good discount in the description for you today. We all take steps to make sure that our loved ones and our belongings stay safe when we travel. You know, we keep our eye out for pickpockets and things like that. But what about our online safety? Public Wi-Fi is everywhere, especially here in Thailand. There's 5G in every coffee shop, every little cafe. But these hotspots, these public Wi-Fi signals that you can connect to, these are a hacker's playground. They will steal your information. Some of it's sensitive, some of it connected to your financials, and it could just lead to disaster. But with NordVPN, it completely encrypts your signal. Having this encrypted connection keeps your personal data safe, and after a full day exploring Bangkok, you want to get back to the safety of your guest house and watch your favorite show, but then you realize that the Thailand library of Netflix or Disney Plus or any of your favorite streaming platform doesn't have the same movies or the same shows as back home. With NordVPN, you can quickly toggle your location back to your home address or your home country, and you can connect and continue watching that beautiful Crime Watch show, or for me, Hell's Kitchen. Even before you travel, NordVPN saves you money because depending on where you're searching for your flights, different airlines supply different prices, which I can't believe they can get away with. But with NordVPN, you can search for a flight using your home IP address and then switch it to a different country and see if the prices change. And sometimes you can actually save money. And finally, they're gonna throw in Threat Protection Pro, which is one of their new awesome features. Just gives you an extra layer of protection. It stops those phishing scams. It stops any of those annoying pop-ups that come up when you're trying to watch the match. And NordVPN are offering an exclusive deal. Any purchase of a 2-year plan, you will receive 4 bonus months on top. Simply visit nordvpn.com/Paddy Doyle to unlock those 4 bonus months with any 2-year plan. So this is the perfect time to sign up or renew with NordVPN. 30-day money-back guarantee, 4 months bonus on top for free, and they're going to throw in Threat Protection Pro. Check the link in the description and sign up today. Okay, the next place we're going to is very different to the Old Town. It's quite chic, it's very trendy. Not many tourists even know about this place, but it's very easy to get to. And of course, I'm talking about RE. This area is very unique, very stylish, so I think you're gonna enjoy 24 hours in RE. Hello everybody, welcome back to Bangkok. I'm on a mission, a little side quest to show you that there's more to this city than getting drunk on Khao San Road, right? I'm at a pretty interesting, unique place right now. Welcome to RE. RE is in the heart of the city. However, you might never have heard of it. 10 out of 10. There's so much to discover. Every hour is going to count. this might just become your new favorite area of Bangkok. And there's a ton of surprises ahead. So let's get cracking.
Oh, it's scary again.
RE has its very own BTS station on the Skylink, just a few stations from Siam and the very centre, and also just a few stops from Phaya Thai, which is where you get off the airport link. So really quick and easy to reach here from the airport and very affordable to do so too. But there are so many more reasons I want to share why I think you'll love this area, so let's discuss all of this quickly over a nice bowl of warm, delicious noodle soup. Okay, so I thought we would, since I can't actually check in to the accommodation here in RE until 2 o'clock and it's 1:30, I thought we would get a little bit of lunch and a coffee in one of the ridiculous amounts of eateries and coffee shops in RE. You will not be short of finding a place to eat or a place to get a coffee, trust me. Now, I did want to pop in and try some of my favourite banh mi, delicious Vietnamese sandwiches that literally are one of the main reasons why I come to RE now. It's closed. It's closed, I don't know why, but hopefully they're open tomorrow, so at least I can show you what I think is the best banh mi in Bangkok. But since we can't get banh mi, let's have some boat noodles. Boat noodles are a very typical dish here in Thailand. They originate from Bangkok. Normally they're served quite small, because they used to be served out of boats, right? And it's, you know, delicious noodles with this like dark red, this brown, heavy in iron stock. 100 baht for a regular portion, and 30 baht for a delicious roselle juice. So let's talk about why RE is a popular place and why I think it's a really good option for you to come and stay here and base here on your next trip to Bangkok as an option. RE is a very trendy, very vibrant area of Bangkok. It's the equivalent to somewhere like Shoreditch in London. It's quite centrally located, but it's a bit more edgy, it's a bit more arty. And coming in with that is the community feel. People who live in RE enjoy lots of social events at the cafes, at the bars. Loads of different little clubs and events happen here in RE. There's a community here of like-minded people, and so that's another big draw for people coming to stay here. And as you'll see later, there's green spaces galore. There are 2 big parks in this area, which is great for your afternoon walk or your morning run, or just somewhere to go and enjoy nature within the big city. Very important for your physical and your mental health. And something that's going to be extremely obvious as we explore is the abundance and variety of food and drink. Cocktail bars, restaurants, street food, coffee shops, you name it. You can spend days going down every little nook and cranny, every little alley and soy, and every weekend you could go discover your new favorite Mexican, your new favorite street food store or coffee shop, right? This place is just a labyrinth of cuisine that suits all budgets, and it's also very safe here, and I just think it's a really good alternative option for people who are looking to get away from the other areas of Bangkok that maybe have tainted your opinion on this incredible city in the past. Okay, absolutely delicious noodles at the RE boat noodle shop. Let's go grab a coffee. So this is the Black Cat Cafe, right on the main street. It's like a homage to the felines. The staff at this cafe bring in their cats, mostly in the afternoons, and they just hang out, chill. You can also pick up some yummy cakes. They sell coffee beans as well, and it's just a fun place to get a coffee. And if you like cats, you'll love this place. Okay, we're here. The room is quite nice. It's in an old tower. just outside of the BTS station of RE itself, so it can't be in a better location. The building itself is one of those older buildings, like built in the 80s, but the room itself has been renovated to a really high standard. Everything seems brand new, very clean and spotless. The only thing that maybe needs a little bit more of a refresh is the bathtub and the shower, but everything else is quite reasonable, and I found this on Airbnb. I think I've just realized one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of Airbnb. Now, that's a really good value, and for the location and, you know, the view out the window of the city and the BTS SkyTrain running past, and its convenience, and it's clean and spotless, that's great. But there's no information about how to connect to the Wi-Fi. The TV isn't turning on, so I can't watch anything yet. So you have to go through this whole contacting the host, asking where's the Wi-Fi, what do I do with the TV, it's not working, and any other issues that you have. It's not like you can just go to reception or ask a member of staff, and there's no welcome, there's no thank you, there's no goodbye, there's no hospitality involved in Airbnbs. I think it's worth mentioning as well that on the other side of the BTS station, there's a little sort of, like a miniature mall, and they have all of your usual international heavy hitters. You've got Fuji, Shishirio, and Starbucks, and Boost, and Greyhound Cafe, and lots of the chain restaurants. So all your big heavy hitters, all of your home comforts. If you're used to another area of Bangkok, maybe you live in On Nut, maybe you live in Blanchit, and you're thinking about moving out to a different area, they'll still have all of your old favorites here, which you can order on Grab or come and sit down and enjoy. The area just outside of my building was also packed with coffee shops, street food vendors, and lots of delicious food at really reasonable prices. And because this is Bangkok, there's also old men driving motorbikes with trays of fruit whizzing past. I love this city. These little areas underneath the BTS stations, underneath these concrete dystopian urban structures, I just love them. They're noisy, they're a bit polluted, but there's just something so Bangkok, something so Thai about being underneath here. Right next to the chaos of the underpass are some beautiful flower sellers, and the smell of these flowers is so fresh. These are little blessings, basically. You hang them up in your car. With the flowers hanging in front of you as you drive, you get that delicious, beautiful smell as you drive. Flowers are very beautiful and fragrant for a day or two, and then they go bad, and then they rot, and you have to throw them out and get new ones. So those fresh flowers are a constant reminder to live in the moment, be in the moment, and to enjoy the smell of life and the flowers in your car. One of the reasons why I've started to do these 24-hour in videos and documenting and deep diving into specific, more unique areas of Bangkok is because I am in the market to move and change location. I'm very happy where I live, and I'm very blessed to have an apartment in Phom Prong, but that area starts to feel a little bit claustrophobic, and so it's all about spreading your wings and getting a better perspective of this huge city. And you can sometimes get a little bit comfortable in your bubble, so by going on these little adventures to the Green Lung, to Chinatown and Yarawat and different areas of this city, I'm starting to learn. I feel like this is the place that I could happily live. It's got that really nice blend. You've got modern buildings that look like very livable and comfortable. You've got the BTS, and you're very near to the center of the city, so it's convenient. Like just behind me, you've got a really affordable fruit and veg shop right here on the main street, just before you get to the BTS, selling all your delicious local fruits, avocados, pomelos, dragon fruits, huge mangoes, longons, all the delicious things. Even some spiky orange fruit that I'm not quite sure what it is, but it looks delicious, and it's all very affordable. It's actually a little bit overwhelming, and this is coming from someone who lives in Bangkok. I've never seen such an abundance of food and coffee shops and fresh ingredients and fruit and veg, and women holding giant plates of pork that looks delicious. And found the source of the delicious smell. This bloke is literally frying the mu krop, or the fried pork. Chicken wings. And that's the pork. And he's just frying it in this huge wok. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. He's got this metal shield to keep the heat and the flames and the fumes blowing off into the other premises. Amazing. Amazing. RE. This could be the new food heaven of Bangkok. Another little alleyway where you are surrounded, literally squashed together by food. You've got fruit and veg on your right, you've got a coffee shop on your left. Take 2 steps forward, you've got Thai dessert place on your right, fresh fruit on your left. 2 more steps, we've got some som tam, some isan and some noodles, and some fried bananas to your right. And we've got a khao soy restaurant on our left. Northern Thai food, it's fresh street food, fresh fruit, fish, everything you could ever want. Sawadee krap. All on your doorstep. Like, it's so nice. Like, it has the charm and the craziness and rusticness of Bangkok, but it also has the cleanliness and organization of Singapore. Like, it's so calm and organized, but also frantic at the same time. I know that doesn't make any sense, but just come to RE and you'll feel it. This area of the city here in RE is packed, absolutely packed with food options. I think you'll struggle to find anywhere with so many places to eat. Every cuisine, every craving you could ever want is fulfilled in this area. If it's freshly made hat yai fried chicken, or street food curry shops, whether it's fresh fruit or fresh juices laid out over ice, this area of Bangkok might hold the trophy for the most delicious places to eat in such a small area. Now, as delicious as those boat noodles were before I checked into my hotel, they barely touched the side, and I went to the gym this morning, so I'm still really hungry. So before we head over to the park and more exploration of RE, let's grab some delicious looking pad thai at this place on the street corner here. It looks delicious. This restaurant looks like somebody's house, and they converted it into a restaurant at the front. There are a few expats that I've seen walking around who obviously live here. Bear in mind that it is midweek and it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so most expats are probably at work, whether they're teaching in international schools, which there are quite a few in this area, by the way, you know, or they're working online back at their house or in one of the remote digital cafe type nomad things. What do they call those places? A few of my friends actually who live in Bangkok and have done for years said to me that RE used to be the spot where loads of expats used to live. Oh wow, thank you. This looks delicious. Thank you, thank you. I love the look of this. Sometimes pad thai, when it's really brown, you know they've gone completely overboard with the sauce and the MSG. This one looks fluffy, this one looks fresh. Thank you so much. Yeah, so a few of my friends said that a lot of people used to live in RE back in the day when it was, you know, renowned for being hipster and cool and trendy, which it still is, but some people think that since COVID it's lost a bit of its edge. But I think what happened really is other areas of Bangkok became more affordable and more convenient, places like On Nut. I bumped into Bangkok Pat the other day and he was doing a street tour in this area with some of his subscribers. And they used to live here in RE and they love it. And they wanted to come back to just make sure it was still a hip and happening place. And thankfully they said that it is. So I think RE, guys, This area is going to suit you if you want to be in Bangkok and you want all of the food and you want all of the convenience, but you're not really fussed about spending 3,000 baht a night in a 5-star hotel plus in, say, a Sok Nana Blurn Chit, you know, central. But you don't want to be out near Khao San Road with all the backpackers and all the craziness of that area. And I think this is a really cool, hipster, trendy option for you. And thankfully, as I'm discovering today, it's a food paradise. Let's test this pad thai. Just the right amount of spice, sourness, delicious. Anyone who's ever walked around RE will quickly see that it is a draw for the Instagrammers, the cafe girls, the girls who, and guys who like to dress up nicely, go to the coffee shops and take nice pictures. RE is very photogenic, very arty, and it all blends well if you're walking on the streets. Talking of which, I think you have to live in Bangkok for an extended period of time to appreciate good quality sidewalks or pavements, right? Look how clean, well maintained, tree lined, neat and tidy, and most importantly, safe to walk on every little street that I've walked up and down today. I've not tripped over, nearly sprained my ankle, had to move out of the way of everyone who's trying to come past the other way. I've never seen this before in Bangkok. Literally, from the sea to the street, we have behind me fresh prawns bubbling away in their little tub of bath water, and they have that oxygen supply to keep them nice and happy and alive. But then when it's time and you've chosen which one you want, she'll grill them on the barbecue right here on the street. Okie dokie, so a quick hop, skip and a jump on the BTS. So we're not technically in RE anymore, guys. I did cheat a little bit, but we're in the ballpark. Only 2 stations on the BTS. 28 baht for a ticket. Come up to Muchit, get out, walk across the street or walk downstairs, and you'll be here at the beautiful Chatuchak Park, right next to Chatuchak Market, the extremely busy, extremely hot market which most tourists will come and visit. People are running around, it's a lovely afternoon, and a great place to breathe. When you live in the city, when you live in a monster metropolis such as Bangkok, you need these green spaces. You need to be able to hear the birds and get away from the hustle and bustle. It's good for your mental health, it's good for your physical health. I think we all learnt that during COVID. We all valued how important green spaces are. Of course, if you live in the countryside, if you live in the rural areas of your country, you don't necessarily miss the smell of freshly cut grass and watching butterflies and birds flap around. But when you live in a city like Bangkok, you come to really appreciate the importance of hearing the wind blow between the leaves and birds going about their daily routine of catching fish or insects. And just you feel for a slight brief moment of the day when it's not too hot, when the sun's just going down and people are relaxing and going for their afternoon run, afternoon walk after work, you suddenly start to feel de-stressed and everything starts to become clearer. I've had every bright idea, good idea, anything creative comes to me when I go for my afternoon walks in the parks here in this city. When you're surrounded by the lights and the metropolis, you get inspired so much, and then when you come to the green spaces, things start to connect. Ideas turn into formulated plans on a good afternoon walk in a park in Bangkok. If you're going to stay in Bangkok, whether on a 2-week holiday, a few days, or if you're planning to move here, you must make sure that you live within a walking distance or at least a quick hop on the BTS or MRT away from a big park. Beautiful. There aren't too many within the center of the city, but this one is incredible. I have to say, I am really impressed with this park, and I'm very jealous that I live quite far away from this. This is just too far to come for my afternoon stroll. And after my exploration of RE and the park, I decided that I was in desperate need of a cold, refreshing beer. So I jumped back on the BTS, headed back to RE because I'd seen something on Google Maps that looked too good to be true, and I'm glad to say that it wasn't. A non-pretentious, cheap, affordable rooftop bar with a fantastic, unique view of the city. Something that's very difficult to find here in Bangkok, actually. Okay, absolute touch. Absolute success. Look, I'll be real with you. One of the worst things about Bangkok is the disappointment I feel every time I go to a rooftop bar. I always see these reels on Instagram, these TikTokers, these Instagrammers. They always go to the new happening places, and they always look absolutely amazing, and they all say that they're amazing places, and everyone gives them glowing reviews. Because this is Thailand, and you're not allowed to say what you really feel, otherwise you'll get in trouble. I feel like that's the case with a lot of these Instagram, TikTok people. They promote every restaurant, every bar, every bloody place in the whole city, and everywhere's amazing, right? I mean, most of it's because they're getting paid to say nice things, but I feel like it's very difficult to be brutally honest if you don't like something, because if it's taken the wrong way, you can get in a lot of trouble in this country for that kind of thing. So instead of like reviewing places I don't like, I just don't review them. So if I haven't made a video on a place, it's either because I haven't been there, or I went and I didn't like it, and I didn't want to say my true feelings because I'd get in trouble. This, however, is exactly what I look for in a rooftop bar. It's not pretentious. They serve big beers at reasonable prices. They give you a bucket of ice and they let you crack on. Plus, we have this really interesting view of the city street down below us. This is where we are. RE BTS is just down there. We've got the Gherkin, or the Bangkok version of the Gherkin, right here. We'll go check that out tomorrow morning, by the way, with my friend Adam. We've got this really interesting view of the BTS SkyTrain as it whizzes past at head height, which I think is quite unique and quite interesting. Let's just wait for a train to come past as I have a beer. This is a well-deserved beer, by the way. I did a session at the gym this morning, and then I came up here, and I've been walking around for the past 4 hours, exploring and eating. But now it's time for a beer. Cheers, everyone. If you've enjoyed this video so far, good time to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Just like clockwork. There's the train. Hey! Yeah, cheers indeed, everybody. Or as they say here in Thailand, chok di kap. I really rated this place, and after a cold beer and a long day exploring, it was time to go find somewhere nice to eat. There are lots of options in RE, as you can imagine, but I found this one called Salt. It looks a bit fancy, it's got great reviews, so I decided to give this place a try, even though it was a little bit over my usual budget. I am in a very fancy looking restaurant. I've just taken a look at the menu. So the restaurant's called Salt, and it's very London. You know, it's half indoor, half outdoor. If you want the aircon, you go inside. If you want to go outside, it's fine. They've got these fans blowing, nice air. It's a bit noisy, but fantastic decor, really cool atmosphere, great staff, and the menu is incredible. It's very, very expensive, but you know what? Let's live a little. I'm gonna order a steak because they have a char grill here, like a real proper char grill, similar to ones that I saw in Argentina. And if you think about it, it is expensive in Thailand terms, but I'm going to order a Australian Wagyu ribeye with Mentiaco, mascarpone, and red wine jus. And it's going to cost me $50, 1,850 Thai baht, which is obviously, you know, way more expensive than 70 baht pad Thai from lunch. Can I order the the where is it? The strip loin. No, actually the ribeye. Australian.
Sorry, lip eye Australian today is sold out.
It's sold out. Okay. And I'll try one of your cocktails. I'll try. Where did it go? The guava gimlet.
Sure.
It's a gin-based cocktail with gin, white vermouth, maraschino liqueur. That's like cherry liqueur. Guava, fresh guava, and lime jam. Sounds nice. How much is that? Oh shit, it's 480 baht. Oh my god, that's like, I don't even want to think about how much that is. Look, in my videos, we normally eat street food, right? Cheapest food in Bangkok and stuff like that. It's part of my brand and part of this channel is to show you affordable options, but from time to time, you know, it's good to show you somewhere nice and spend some cash. This has been my favourite cocktail I've had in years. It was delicious. Highly recommend it if you come to Salt. 10 out of 10. And the Wagyu steak was great. Is it the best steak in Bangkok? No. But I really enjoyed it. I had it medium rare, it was cooked really well, and the nice ambience and being outside but not getting baked in the heat because of the fans. Good atmosphere, good music, great staff, and good food. I'll definitely be back if I ever come to this area again. Or maybe one day in the future, move to this area because I love it so much. And it's not just one good restaurant, there are so many to choose from. If you want Japanese, if you want udon noodles, Thai food obviously, curry houses, Italian, even cheaper street food is all available at night. It's not just there during the day. So yes, you can have a Wagyu steak one night and then you can have 40 baht khao mun gai the next. And there's some decent nightlife here, as I'm about to share. Okay, so I found a place called Farmer's Bar. It grabbed my eye on Google Maps because all of the ingredients in this cocktail bar are from Thai origin, whether they're the spirits or the ingredients that they mix into the drinks. They also have quite a wide selection of Thai craft beer, and it's outside, just outside of a very popular, highly rated hostel called The Yard, which comes really highly recommended. So anyone who's watching this, who's on a backpacking budget, $20, $30, $40 a day, this is where you would stay if you wanted to hang out in a cool part of Bangkok, right? If you wanted to use RE as your base and you're a backpacker, you can. Highly rated hostel, comes I think at 9 out of 10 on Agoda and Hostel World. And this cocktail bar is just outside and owned by the same people. Thank you. I went for a gimlet again. Much cheaper in here. Just down the road from this cocktail bar was the Rock Bar. Now, this place is an establishment in Bangkok. It's been going for over 30 years. However, they recently just moved to this new location. They have live music every single night. Mostly, of course, it's rock. They also do a little bit of metal music. And there's popcorn and snacks available and burgers coming soon. And obviously, if you like rock music and you want to have a dance, this is the place to come. The next morning I woke up at the Airbnb and the weather was fantastic and I was really happy about that. I was going to be meeting a friend later and I was really hoping it wasn't going to be a washout. This is my friend Adam. He runs a YouTube channel called Keys One. He's based in Bangkok. He's a legend. If you want to move or live in Bangkok or in Thailand in general, subscribe to his channel. He has a library of content about this incredible city, and he goes into much more detail about what it's like to live in this city than I do. And I had something fun in mind that we could both try and experience together here in the heart of Ari. So, we're here at the Pearl, this big fancy gherkin glass building, and next door on the ground level is the Pearl art space. I don't know if this is here every day of the week, because you've been here, you've walked past this place and it was something else. So we're not sure if this is a permanent thing. But right now they've got a nice little art gallery, and Adam has recently just signed for a new house. And I want to give him a housewarming present. And yesterday on my exploration of Ari, I saw that you can sit down and pay a little bit of money and they'll give you free art supplies and paint, and you can paint your own canvas or your own scented candle holder. And they have some examples and they look amazing. We're probably not going to be able to do anything that good, although he's a bit of an artist, aren't you?
Not really.
Come on. So I just thought it'd be a nice housewarming present for you.
Don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up, and if you do, you can have mine.
Oh, so do that and then
Yes,
pencil?
you can do later.
Okay. Now I'm nervous.
Okay. Blue.
My mind is
Yeah, I'll start with the
blank.
blues.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I wish I was creative.
You are creative.
Yeah, but not like this.
What do you think of when you think of me? You're making a personalized one?
I think of like your YouTube channel and like maybe like your keyring, your keychain thing. I might do like a YouTube keys one thing on
That's
one
cool.
side, and then on the other side maybe I'll just do an attempt of a painting, I suppose.
That's cool. Well, I'm going to be making a studio space in my new place, so
Right.
it could be something cool to put in there.
Yeah. I'll put subscribe to Paddy Doyle. Is that dry already or no?
Yeah.
Can you see what I've done there? His YouTube channel is Keys1. YouTube, Keys1. YouTube channel, right?
God, I'm ruining this.
So because this is a scented candle, we get to choose 2 different smells that they'll combine and then pour that into the hot wax, which they'll put into our candle holders. This is a really fun, chilled out little activity. Are you having fun, buddy?
Yeah. Much more than I expected. Loving it. But it's also frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, buddy, show us your creation.
It's not entirely my creation. I had some assistance.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Love it.
And how does it smell?
It smells really good.
Well, that's for your housewarming present, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And let's see your...
Oh, now you're going to embarrass me. It looks great. Oh,
I love this. And my sunset.
nice.
It's amazing.
You're welcome. There was one last location I really wanted to share and experience here in Ari with Adam. Even though we can't really film anything here, I still wanted to include it in the video because this could be the reason why you come to Ari in the first place. This is, from what I can gather, Bangkok's best escape room. They have 7 to choose from. We chose this Egyptian themed one, and we had to unlock our way through many rooms, go through many puzzles. It was quite scary, quite strange. This is the only clip that we took during our 1-hour escape room because you're not allowed to film in there, but we just wanted to give you a snippet, a little teaser of what it's like. So much fun, completely crazy, completely mad, And if you're into escape rooms, if you want to do something different, definitely come and check this place out. We made it! We made it! This place, I just said it, is batshit crazy. And we love it, don't we?
Had a ball. Really, really enjoyed it.
It's really hard to explain what happened to us because we're not allowed to give you any spoilers, obviously. We got a little sneaky, tiny little snippet of footage in there, but we really just cannot even tell you, really, other than what it was roughly about. We were in Egypt, we were in a tomb, and we had to try and figure a way to get out.
Get to the next level, unlock boxes.
Yeah, and we really had to work together. There was no way I could do it alone.
No, I couldn't do it alone.
I would have given up. But together we were able to think critically and try different things, and it was all clicking into place, and there was lots of puzzle pieces that we figured out, and it was so rewarding, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because then you get stuck and you get really frustrated for about 2 or 3 minutes. You're like, okay, what do we do? And then you just take a deep breath and then
Oh, let's try this.
let's try this, and and all of the answers were right in front of us the whole time. It was
So
great.
much fun.
So
I wanna
much
do more.
fun. Yeah, so how many rooms do they have? 7?
7 or 8.
They have 7 different escape rooms at different themes, different abilities, difficulty levels. But thanks for coming, man.
No, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
When I came here, I thought I could play by myself, but all of them, you must have a minimum of 2 people. And I think some of them require groups of 4 plus.
We'll do more. We'll do
Yeah,
more.
we'll definitely be back. This place is wildly crazy, very Thai, just very strange, and we love it.
Love it.
The last thing that me and Adam shared was the delicious banh mi, the place that was closed that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Thankfully, on day 2 in Ari, it was open. And this is one of my favorite foods ever. It's Vietnamese. It's a French baguette filled with Asian flavors. There's always meat, there's always pâtés and pickled vegetables, a little bit of chili in there if you want. Just the perfect combination of East meets West. I just love banh mi. I could eat 100 of them. And me and Adam just had a cold drink and a great snack. And this is where I'm going to leave you guys. A bit of a longer video this week. I wanted to go into a little bit more detail than I usually do, and I wanted it to be a little bit more chatty and a bit more relaxed. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you soon. Okay, the next place we're going to, very different, very unique, and hardly anybody knows about this place. I'm talking about Bang Krachao, aka the Green Lung. We'll be spending 24 hours there. Sit down, relax as I show you how to get there, where to stay, what to do, and yeah, let's get going. Right, so how do you get to the Green Lung itself? Well, the best way, the most interesting way, is by getting a boat across, a little local boat that leaves from a little pier down here in this alleyway in Bangkok. I'll link the location below. It only takes about 10 minutes on a little grab taxi to get to here from Asok, from Pom Prong. So it's really close to downtown Bangkok. You just go through a few alleyways and then you go speak to the bloke and we'll get a ticket. It costs 40 baht, by the way, for a return ticket. You can return on the same day, or if you want to come back the following day, like I'm going to be doing, that's totally fine as well. This is the most fun I've ever had waiting for a ferry or a taxi boat in my life. This bloke is football mad. The bloke that you buy the ticket off at the ferry, I complimented him on his retro Dutch football shirt. And he said, oh, I collect original Premier League and football jerseys. And he's going to a festival later today after work. And then I said, oh, is that your collection that I saw? Because I just walked past this shop on the way to the pier. And he said, yeah, let me show you. Oh, QPR, wow, that's a rare one.
The jersey, this one is special because without sponsor. This is my first jersey. Beckham. Real number.
That was the Champions League final.
Yes.
Yeah, look.
Oh no. This second after
Okay.
because our final is only 1 star.
Do you have any more Newcastle? Oh, okay. As fun as it is checking out this guy's kit collection, let's get on the ferry and let's get over to the Green Lung. Thank you. Cup and cup. That was very pleasant. We're in business straight away. I see bicycles for rent. I see a place to get coffee and breakfast. It's first thing really in the morning. It's like 9:30. So let's get cracking. Right here at the pier, you can rent bicycles, which is by far the best way to explore this part of Bangkok. And it was really good to see a varied selection of bikes to suit most people's needs. And they even have bikes for kids, and they have bikes for parents with small children. I only paid 200 baht for 24 hours, so the pricing is very reasonable. All right, sorted. We have a bicycle. I have booked accommodation to stay here in the Green Lung overnight. I found a really interesting place which we'll go check into later. Can't check in till 2, so we've got pretty much the whole morning and a little bit into the afternoon to explore the Green Lung on this bicycle. First impressions, I absolutely love this place. I can hear the birds singing. It's nice and green, lovely jubbly, and it's a glorious day. I'm probably going to be sweating, but this bike seems smooth, well maintained, nicely greased, and I thought I'd packed everything I needed. Camera, drone, clothes for tomorrow, water, batteries, cables. Forgot my toothbrush, toothpaste, my razor blade, and sun cream. But luckily, my girlfriend, Miss P, is going to be joining me tonight and staying over with me, so I'll text her in a minute and tell her to bring some for tomorrow, and so that I can brush my teeth, otherwise I'll be minging. Americano yen ไม่หวานครับ Sabaidi. For years and years, I've been using Google Maps to look at things and learn about how to get around places, especially Bangkok. And when I switched it from my normal road map version to satellite imagery, and I just zoomed out, that's when you can really see the Green Lung in its glory from space, basically. It's this huge lung-shaped green area bang in the middle of Bangkok, and it's just to the right, just to the south of the major metropolis area, and you know, you can just see that it's very unique for a giant mega city like Bangkok to have such a big open green space that is obviously serving more than just one purpose, and that is to absorb a lot of the carbon dioxide, absorb a lot of the heat, and then to spit out oxygen and to breathe air into this city. And so I'm glad and thrilled to finally be here, even though it's a stone's throw away from where I'm based. I've never been here before, so it's my pleasure to spend the next 24 hours here, stay overnight here, and really deep dive. There's loads to see, there's loads to do, and coffee's great, so it's a good start. So I'll finish this, and then we'll go for another bike ride and try and find breakfast, because I'm starving. What's surprising to me, just by cycling around aimlessly, is that it's very residential. Lots of people live here, and they have nice houses. It's very quiet. There's beautiful birds just flying around me. One just flew right across my face. And to think that, obviously there's cars and there's roads here, because there is a bridge that links the Green Lung to the city, so cars can come here. You can get a taxi here, and I suppose when the smoggy, smoky pollution kicks in, over here you wouldn't feel it as much, which is just priceless. This is like proper forest. Just be careful. Where did we go? And I suppose this is the fun of it, isn't it? Just cycling around people's homes, being a little bit nosy. Like, that's a nice house. Literally just cycled past an old woman's house, and her front door was open. She's lying in there watching the telly. Quite the intimate experience with the locals. Okay, you will not be surprised to hear that cycling in the midday heat in Thailand is quite hot. So So I've come into this little nature park, this little park within the park, free entry, and there's a biking trail that's completely in the shade, thankfully. And this is just a lovely, lovely experience. I cannot tell you how surprised I am about this place, especially this botanical garden forest area within the Green Lung. I mean, I'll just be quiet for 1 second and I'll just slightly increase the volume so you can feel immersed. Just take a listen and remember, we are a stone's throw away from a Sok Junction, Nana Plaza. Isn't that gorgeous? And to think, you know, all these birds, all these butterflies, all these lizards, all these snakes, all these little critters that slither away and splash away when you get a little bit close to them. They all call this place home. This is a little paradise. This is the kind of thing you would expect to see in Khao Yai National Park, in Borneo, at the Jungle Nature Reserve with the orangutans. You don't expect to see this in the middle of Bangkok. Check this fella out. Just cycling on this little path, trying to find my hotel and have a look at this little fella. It's a good job that they're scared of us and not curious. When I was in Lumpini Park the other day, I saw a giant one eating a bird, and it spent like 15 minutes trying to swallow it, but eventually got it down. But out here in the Green Lung, they seem scared and apprehensive of humans, which is good news. Hopefully we don't have one crawling in our room tonight. Speaking of my room, I've just cycled for 5.5 kilometers from the botanical gardens to get to the hotel, which is just up here. When I arrived, I was given a welcome drink and a chance to order some lunch, which was really nice. And then I was shown to my room. This hotel is called the Bangkok Treehouse, and you'll see why in a second. The room that I booked was the signature room, and it wasn't cheap, okay? But it did come with 3 different levels. On level 1, there's a small kitchen and an outdoor shower. Level 2, there's a bedroom with a comfy bed and aircon, which was very handy to take a nap in for a few hours because it was a piping hot day. And upstairs on level 3, there's a tanning platform. But by far the most interesting element is outside. Here you'll find an open-plan treehouse atop this bamboo and steel platform that's completely surrounded by the mangrove forests. There is this outdoor mattress, complete with a bug net, and as you see later, they do a good job of making it nice and inviting in the evenings, perfect for a romantic night or a fun place for kids to camp out and sleep under the stars. Obviously, I'll link this place in the description and you can make up your own mind. There are other rooms available, other styles of room, much cheaper rooms. And there are other places to stay in the Green Lung. This is just what I thought was the most visually unique and interesting to share with you. So I hope you agree. But we'll see if it was worth it. I'll let you know at the end of the video. So let's just enjoy the afternoon. Okay, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Miss P, my girlfriend's told me that she's going to finish a bit later than she thought, and that it'll take her quite a while to get here. Just wanted to jump in here and tell you as I walk back through this really cool little area that leads to our room about an exciting piece of news that I want to share with you regarding to the channel and the future of this series, The Ultimate Bucket List. One of the reasons why I decided to do the Green Lung video so early in episode 1 was because I wanted to test out how easy is it, and it's not, how easy is it to film while cycling? Because I've learned quite a lot today in terms of holding the cameras, using tripods, using microphones. Just looked back at some of the footage and it wasn't perfect. And you know me, I like to make it perfect, or as good as can possibly. And you know me, I like to try my best, especially with drone footage, audio, video, to try my best. So that's why I'm just testing out this, because I realised they packed this. Didn't pack sun cream, but they did pack external audio. So here's the exciting piece of news. As I cycle across this gorgeous little bridge, revealing the Chao Phraya. So, oh Jesus. I'm learning a lot today. Here's the thing, here's my idea. Ultimate bucket list. We started off with a bang, skydive. I mean, that's on everyone's bucket list to do before they die. Visiting the Green Lung might not be on everybody's bucket list, but it's on my Thailand bucket list. So I hope you appreciate it. Not every week will be as extreme as jumping out of an aeroplane, obviously. But for the time being, whilst the series is in Thailand, we'll be deep diving into little things and little interesting experiences like coming to the Green Lung. But one thing that I do think is in a lot of people's bucket list is to do a cross-country, multiple day, multiple week bike tour, cycle tour, guys. Because when I told a lot of people this idea, they went, oh yeah, cool. Are you gonna do it on Zelda or on Dreamy? And I said, no, I'm gonna cycle on a bicycle like this across Thailand. And that's my aim, is actually in a couple of days, picking up a bicycle from a bike shop not far from where I live, having it all accessorized and geared up for touring. I'm then going to drive up to the very north of Thailand with my friends, Tread the Globe, who are a YouTube channel, who are driving around the world in a van. And we're gonna spend 2 to 3 days driving up to the north of Thailand, and I'll be making a bucket list video about that, because driving across Thailand, experiencing van life, and sharing a small chapter in their lives and their big story of traveling across the world, overlanding in a truck in a little van that's another episode. Plus, it gets me to where I need to be. Anyway, that was a long ramble. Hello. I'm just gonna head to the other side of the island, of the Green Lung, in search of a sunset space or a nice cold beer. Look at this. Beautiful, gorgeous little house over here. Look what they've done with those lanterns and those nets. You can see what I mean about how it's very residential. All these are people's homes and gardens. Lots of fruit growing here. And I still can't get over how close this is to where I live and how close this is to Sukhumvit and all the luxury malls and all of the superficial bullshit side of Bangkok. They've done a good job with this. I bet in the evening as well, when they have all these lights on, I bet it looks lovely. I think this is it. There must be a few more cafes and restaurants down there, but I can see the river here and this looks quite nice. This is all very, very Thai. They set these things up deliberately so people, and couples especially, can just take pictures. It's all about the selfies. It's all about Insta cafes. Such a culture here. Nobody here, because Thai people will not sit in the sun. Thai people will not sit in the sun. Sadie Cap. Oh, there's an absolutely gorgeous white herring. I've never really been a fan of these microphones. It kind of infuriates me, because growing up studying filmmaking, not as a profession, I didn't study at university, but you know, watching YouTube tutorials and watching the TV and seeing how they would hide at all lengths the lavalier mics or any wireless mic or any microphone in general. The boom mic is always just out of frame, lavalier mics hidden, camouflaged within the clothing, just a clip-on. In these days, I mean, this is what most people do, don't they? Hello, welcome to the latest video. Today we're going to be talking about, and everyone's happy and proud to show it off, but one of the things that I would like to keep going forward is the ability to hide something like this. So I think these are natural gas ships. I can see the Green Lung and the canal and the river from my house, from my bedroom window. And so I see these things moving around all day, and I think they head out towards Pattaya, and there's a big refinery towards that area, so I think they take a lot of the gas there. And also down by Rayong, if I remember rightly, on Dreamy, there was a huge facility of natural gas down there. So I'm sure that's what these guys are doing, shipping the gas from the refinery into the city, into the trucks, and out to the provinces. Sorry for this completely random segment of the video. I know this is 24 hours in the Green Lung, but this is part of it, isn't it? Just having a beer with you, having a chat, talking absolute shite. One of the reasons why I decided to start doing the ultimate bucket list and beginning in Thailand was for moments like this, just being able to have a singer with a glass of ice and a bucket of ice as backup, because that's how we do it in Thailand. But also, you know, how incredible is it that I can be out here filming an episode for you to enjoy, and at the same time, I can have my girlfriend texting me saying, okay, I'll finish work and I'll come and meet you later. That's never happened before. In fact, all of this chitty chat might not even make the edit, to be honest, but these are the kind of moments that I film quite regularly on Next Level Adventures, and when it comes to me sitting down, I say to myself, what am I doing talking for 5 minutes about absolutely nothing? But sometimes I think, no, I should keep this stuff in, because that was part of the channel way back when. You know, I used to talk a lot to you about weird things that are not based on the storyline of the concept of the video. Sometimes I become too much of a polished YouTuber and less of a human. So I apologise for that, and I'm glad I decided to keep this part of the video in. I could happily sit here, drink 4 of these big singers, stumble home and watch a movie in bed. But since Miss P is coming after work, I think I'm just going to slow this down, soak up this river atmosphere, and make my way back to the room and have a shower and freshen up and take Miss P back here for dinner. I hope you like insects and geckos. Our room's up there. What do you think?
So many questions.
Well, we sleep outside. This is our bed for tonight.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna book Grab back home. Just kidding. I mean, it's cool, but it's gonna be you see? Your friends say hello.
Whatever you do, don't look behind you at the giant spider.
Oh yeah, I just looked.
As much as we just wanted to chill and enjoy the sunset at the hotel, we were starving. So we jumped on the bicycles and we made our way back towards the restaurant that I'd found earlier. It was dark by the time we got there, but the atmosphere was really nice, and we had a lovely seafood dinner under the stars. It was quite romantic. And we debated whether we should go back and sleep outside on the mattress or keep it safe and sleep in the air-conditioned room. We didn't sleep here last night. We did have a little look. Miss P had a fun idea to watch a horror movie out here last night, because it is a little bit spooky at night, to be honest, all the bugs and all the creepy crawlies. Sorry, there's a beautiful bird just flying. Yeah, but in the end, when we came out here with the laptop, there was just a lot of ants that had found their way underneath and into the mosquito net and on the bedding, and we just didn't feel like it. So it's not 100% insect proof, but it's beautiful to wake up with the bird song and the sound of the forest. And we're gonna go to the floating market and see what that's like. So this is Bang Nam Pung Floating Market, located in the middle of the Green Lung, and it's typically only open on the weekends, guys, so please plan accordingly, but it's a fun and very traditional local market. It's full of street food stalls and clothing and other bits and bobs that you would find in most little Thai markets, but you can, from here, organise a little canal boat trip or just find a little coffee shop and relax. It's quite a decent market, to be fair, underneath this traditional Thai roof, selling all sorts of things from fresh seafood, big prawns and barbecued scallops, to all the usual knickknacks and things that you find in local Thai markets. In the end, Miss P opted for a traditional Thai sweet dessert for breakfast. And it's made from shaved ice, condensed milk, and then you can choose from an assortment of fruity toppings. It's good. The market was fun, but since the hotel was expensive and it came with free breakfast, I just decided to wait and take them up on that. And then Miss P and I, we just relaxed at the hotel for the rest of the morning before it was time to check out, wave Miss P off, as I had to head off as she had to go in a separate direction, and I had to cycle back to the other side of the Green Lung to return my bicycle, and that gave me the perfect opportunity to give you my concluding thoughts on the Green Lung. I'm gonna drop by a little temple on the way back, and I'm gonna leave a little blessing there because it's very famous with Thais. People go there to wish for good fortune in business and in financial things. So since this is a new series and a new venture for the channel, I'll make a little wish there. So what did I think of the treehouse and the Green Lung? Did it live up to the bucket list criteria? The treehouse was cool. High score for uniqueness, high score for originality. Anything I would mark it down for. The food wasn't the best, and it was a little bit run down. I think it's been there for like 5 or 6 years. And they don't really, it's just a little bit rough around the edges. Overall, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. But in terms of the whole experience of coming to the Green Lung, I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'm really glad to have finally come here and experienced it. There is canoeing, there is kayaking, there is lots of other little activities you can do. I've got a spider on my face. But as you can see, my favorite part of this adventure has just been cycling, and it's really gotten me excited for the next big cycling adventure on this channel. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Next up is Bangkok's Chinatown. This place is buzzing, neon lights, incredible delicious food, really packed atmosphere. If you love food, you're gonna absolutely love this place. We're gonna stuff our face for the next section of this video. So let's go and enjoy 24 hours in Chinatown. I have to say that driving my motorbike into Chinatown was a little bit hair-raising, to say the least. The traffic, the buses, the taxis can be quite intimidating. So if I were you, get the MRT, much more cheaper and less dangerous than getting on a motorbike taxi, or in my case, driving my little Honda into the heart of Chinatown. Chinatown is busy day and night, but it gets really busy and comes alive after dark. So I followed the neon Chinese signs in the direction of my hotel, where I parked up ready to check in. Now you're gonna love this hotel, guys, because, well, let me get inside, unpack a little bit, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so let's begin with the hotel. Now, any search on booking.com, if you go to Bangkok, search for any random date, the hotel that comes up on the homepage, the highest ranking in the app is this hotel here, just across the street from Chinatown. And it has incredible reviews, over 2,000 reviews, and an overall score of, let me just double check, it is 9.5. 9.5 on booking. That's incredible. Rooms start at 675 baht. That is probably for one of their dorm rooms. They do have dorm rooms if you are a backpacker or a budget traveler. But if you want a little bit more space and a bit more privacy, then I paid just over 3,900 baht for this beautiful room. It's got this gorgeous kind of Japanese style to it, quite minimal. It's just the little touches that I really like. So obviously you've got snacks like crisps, seaweed, and emergency ramen in case you get hungry in the middle of the night. I like that. Massive telly, however, huge big TV, which you can just whack on Netflix or your favorite YouTube channel and lie in bed in the evening and just relax, or whack on some street food videos in Chinatown and start saving some places to go explore. Let's grab some coffee, grab some lunch, have a little potter about, and just spend the next 24 hours here in Chinatown. Downstairs at the hotel is a beautiful little cafe and this open plan garden outdoor area, and it was being used for something really cool and unique that I was to find out actually happens every single day here at the hotel. Okay, that's really cool, really cool. I didn't actually know why it was so busy when I arrived. Every single day between 11 and 6, I think, they have this art exhibition or art club every day, every single day of the week. And so whether you're a guest there or not, you go into the cafe downstairs, and if you order a coffee or a drink, you can then purchase, depending on the size, a different canvas, and then that gives you free access to all of the tools, the paintbrushes, the stencils, and you can also pay extra if you want an art instructor. And that's downstairs every day at the hotel. But as you can see in front of me, that's the old Bangkok train station, Hua Lumpong. If you've ever taken the night train to Chiang Mai, for example, you would have come here and gotten the train. But this is basically the beginning point of Chinatown. So we'll walk over to the first neighborhood, Talad Noi, grab a coffee, and we'll share some more of the experience of Chinatown here together. As I've said, Chinatown can be very intimidating and super packed, but this area between the hotel and the first part of Chinatown itself is actually really quiet, full of character, and just a really interesting, beautiful place to be and to walk around on foot. And it wasn't long before I spotted something that looked extremely delicious and very tempting. I think this is a good sign. This is probably a very good sign. You know how it is with restaurants and food related things these days. If it's been on Instagram, if it's been on Netflix, there's always a queue. And Chinatown, I'll be honest with you, is full of very famous eateries that have been featured on many famous channels, YouTube, Netflix, all around the world. And it attracts a lot of people and a lot of queues. But when you see a dumpling lady smashing out delicious looking, steaming, fresh dumplings, and the queue is local people, no one's taking pictures. They're all just on their phone waiting to queue up politely to get their dumpling. I think this is a good sign. I think I'm going to line up for this one. So yes, as you can see, this queue was just full of local people who were in the mood to grab their lunch, but this queue, I think, had just sprung out of nowhere. I don't know about you, right? Are you the type of person that if you see a long queue, that means it must be good, let's queue up? Or are you the kind of person like me, this is what I do, you see a long queue and you say, I'm not queuing up for that. This lady right here, she just drove up on a motorbike. She saw the queue and she went, oh my God, what's going on? So I don't think it's usually this busy. So what she's doing so that she could get her dumplings quicker, she's actually helping her by putting in the sauces into the bags and doing the elastic band thingy, just so that the queue can get dealt with quicker. And then she can get her dumplings. I thought he worked here, but no, he's obviously just been helping her out as well. And now that lady who was upset about the queue is actually helping as well.
แก้ไปอยู่ทางนี้ช่วยไม่ให้ช่วยฉันก็ลืมช่วยอ่ะช่วยไม่ช่วยชุดใหญ่ชุดหนึ่งชุดเล็กชุดหนึ่งแล้วจะดาวน้ำจิ้มสำหรับเขาด้วย
สวัสดีครับซาลาเปาหนึ่ง
โอ้ยเก่งจังเลยอ่ะใส่กระเทียมพริก
and dumpling เล็กหนึ่ง
ค่ะ
เล็ก
อันนี้อยู่ด้านไหน5 ลูก
โอเค
เก่งจังเลยอ่ะเก่งจากข้างหลังใส่เงินจากให้ลูกเอานะ
อร่อยไหม
อร่อยสิ
จริงเหรอ I have no idea if it's always like this. It's not on Google Maps, guys, but I will leave a pin in the description if you want to come and check the beautiful ladyboy with the beautiful dumplings street food vendor. I don't know if she's here every day, I don't know anything. Seeing the locals getting off their motorbikes and helping out just so that she can have a bit of a break and get through the queue quicker, and then in turn they can get their food faster. I think that was really cool and very, very Thai. So this area of Talad Noi, in English, it just means small, fresh market. And as you can see, loads of random engineering shops selling second-hand engine parts for motorbikes and God knows what else. I don't know what actual engine part it is because I'm not a mechanic nor an engineer, but it all seems to be the same part. And the smell of oil is pungent. This area is not that far away from Khao San Road, guys, so if you are just stuck on Khao San Road wondering, is this Bangkok? Get yourself down to Talad Noi, walk around, enjoy the street art, enjoy the atmosphere, and get to know a part of the real Bangkok, away from all the noise, scams, and nightmares that you can have down on Khao San Road. Obviously, I live in Bangkok, and I have done for a few years now. But I live in the modern city and I don't really come over here as much as I should because every time I do, I just feel like I'm in the true Bangkok, if that makes sense. There's just no way to recreate the atmosphere here. The old wooden signs, everything's hand painted, artwork and character and little things on every little corner that reminds you that this really is one of the most unique, one of the most beautiful parts of Bangkok. I was desperate to eat my dumplings and my delicious looking salabao, but right next to this rusty old car, I saw this sign that tempted me in and promised me some delicious hot chocolate. Inside this disused, rundown brick building full of other engine parts was this perspex box and a couple of Thai people selling hot chocolate. I decided to get the iced chocolate because it was boiling. I wasn't expecting to have iced chocolate, but it smells delicious. So no coffee yet. Now we can finally try these dumplings. They're actually covered in chili, so make sure you ask for no chili if you don't like spicy. Let's give this a try. Still warm. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, delicious, still soggy, still warm, drenched in chili. I rate these dumplings extremely highly and definitely worth queuing up for. Hello, man. The salabao looks really good. Wash it down with that delicious iced chocolate and we are ready to continue our journey of Chinatown. That is delicious. Talad Noi is also full of street art and photography, graffiti. It's a real vibrant place. Come and bring your camera, take some nice pictures, walk around, learn the history, eat the food, get to know the locals, and just, see a different part of Bangkok. Can't recommend Talad Noi enough. You only need about 1 hour to walk around and get to know it.
ขอบคุณครับ
สวัสดีครับ
ครับผม
When you leave Talad Noi and you walk towards Chinatown, you'll reach this big red archway just in front of this beautiful Thai temple, which by the way is very worth going into. They do close at 5 p.m, but if you go in, you'll see a gorgeous representation of Buddha, and it's always full of Thai people enjoying not only the view of Chinatown from up and above, looking down onto the streets, but also it's just a really nice place to go and escape the midday heat, for example, if it's a really hot day. Even though this temple is very much a Thai Buddhist temple in the heart of Chinatown, put it on your list. It's worth dropping by. Only 100 baht entrance, and let's say you didn't have time or you didn't want to visit the Grand Palace or Wat Pho in the other areas of the Old Town, consider this one. It's beautiful, historical, and the golden Buddha statue inside is a marvel. This is also the start of Yawawat Road, which is the main high street that starts from here and goes for about 1.5 kilometers all the way through from one side of Chinatown to the other. And this is where you'll see the coach loads of tourists from all around the world, but especially from China. And later in the afternoon, around about now, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. onwards, Chinatown just turns into a frenzy of street food activity. It's dinner time, people are hungry, they've been on tours around Bangkok all day, and then they come to Chinatown to eat at the famous, delicious places all around. But this main strip of Yarawat is very, very busy and can be a bit intimidating, if I'm honest. Lots of little side streets and side alleys with lots of surprises. And part of the fun and part of the adventure of Chinatown itself is discovering that. It was approaching 5 o'clock, so a lot of the street food vendors were setting up. So I decided to head down some of the little darker, scarier looking alleyways. As you can see, they're still setting up, but a few of the restaurants, the ones that have been featured heavily on Netflix documentaries, were starting to get long queues already. This is one of the many restaurants that come very recommended, have been featured all over the place and have a queue all day. Is it worth it? I don't know. I've already done my queuing for food today. I thought I could smell jackfruit. This might look like durian, but it's not. It's jackfruit. Just off the main street of Yarawat, right, is another area called Wat Mangon. And I actually recommend that you go to Wat Mangon because it's the biggest, most famous Chinese temple here in Chinatown. Wat Mangon meaning dragon temple, and free to enter, worth going in because beautifully decorated and lots of giant wooden statues, I think they were, of titans. Very cool. All the Chinese imagery, and they had aircon on, which was a nice break from the sweaty back streets of Chinatown. And just behind Wat Mangon is a very famous curry and rice shop here. You want to come here and sit down on a chair, no tables, and you go up and you choose which curry you'd like. I went for red curry with beef and some rice and what looks to be like a deviled egg or something. So very cheap, very affordable. And I think because it was featured, this place particularly was featured in Netflix in one of their street food shows, it is very busy. Luckily, right now, it's not that busy, and it's in this little alleyway with small businesses and people hanging out their laundry at the back of their houses. Very charming, but is it worth coming here for the food? Let's have a taste. I do love red curry, and I haven't had one for ages. Make sure to garnish it with those crunchy chilies. They're not spicy, but they add a very needed element of texture. I'd say that this curry is delicious. It's very approachable. You know, it's not packed with flavor or spice, but for a red curry with beef, it's decent. Let me try the egg. Looks scary, but trust me, it's delicious. If you're in need of something homely, something familiar, something cheap, and the food on the main strip of Chinatown looks a bit intimidating, come and get a curry here. Your wallet will thank you. Cheers, big ears. It's a good little spot, this. Not only is it buy one, get one free, but it's just a nice place to sit down and observe the chaos instead of being in it. And there's a little bar across the street, or some kind of noodle joint. I'm not quite sure what they're selling, but they're playing nice, quiet, peaceful music. It just feels nice. This is exactly what I wish Khao San Road was actually like. You know, music, but not something that blows your eardrums out. Just be able to sit and relax and just watch the world go by. Now this is what you call a drive-through. Try and guess what this beautiful lime green and pink neon accessory front truck is. Any guesses? That's right. It's a trash truck. It was now just after 6 p.m, so Chinatown was getting rammed. Everyone was everywhere and all the street food sellers were busy. There was tuk-tuks driving around, there was people, tourists, it was intense. And I'd eaten quite a lot already today, and I wasn't really in the mood to queue up once again for some food. But, top tip for you, I've got a cool tactic and a little hack on how to find something unique, delicious, and away from all the masses, yet still just a stone's throw away from Yarawat Main High Street. If the main street of Yarawat and the side sois become too much, if you become overwhelmed with the noise, the crowds, and the foods on offering, relax, don't worry. There I've got 2 recommendations of solitude for you if we can make it past these cats. Where are they? They're probably on the roof. You see, Chinatown is a labyrinth, and there are so many of these little nooks and crannies, all the way from Talat Noi to Khao San. But I will link 2 places that you have to try. So this is the first place. It's a little hole-in-the-wall dessert joint. The sign's in Thai, so I don't actually know the real name, but look at it. It's gorgeous, antique furniture, very cool, and they do incredible desserts. I went for this Thai tea ice cream on top of panna cotta and some pearls, and on top was cream cheese with some gold leaf and some delicious dusting. Gold spoon, gold bowl, very fancy, very delicious. The second place was here. It's called Teens of Thailand, a hole-in-the-wall cocktail bar. Now, just so you know, all the drinks here are gin based. And just like many people that came in that night, they turned around because they realized it was just gin based cocktails. They don't do tequila, they don't do rum, but they do delicious gin cocktails. So if you're into that sort of thing like me, come down here, get a seat, enjoy the music, have a few drinks. And then eventually, it was midnight. I went back to my room, got in my gym jams, enjoyed a movie, and got some sleep. Because we're not finished yet. We've still got tomorrow to enjoy the rest of Chinatown. Early next morning, it was a beautiful morning, and my good friends Gary, the roaming cook, and my friend Joe Perilla decided to come and meet me for breakfast. They wanted to showcase some of the delicious food available at breakfast time in Chinatown. Since my hotel was right by, and since Gary knows everything about the best places to eat street food in Bangkok, how could I say no? And it was a great alternative to the free breakfast at the hotel.
Alright guys, so first stop of taking you down to a 60-plus-year-old banh mi egg noodle shop down off the main street in Chinatown, off one of the main streets in Chinatown. Unless you walk down this alleyway, you wouldn't even know it was here. So why I love this place so much is because it does a classic dish, egg noodles and pork, but it's not the typical barbecue red pork where it's sweet and bright red coloured. It's stewed pork, and they've got a lot of pork stew in there. I'd say about 10 kilos there. Sliced up nice, handmade noodles, handmade dumplings, just pork, dumplings and a little bit of greens. So I'm going to dress these up to my liking, because I've been here before, guys, so I don't really need to taste this before I go in. So we're going to go in with a little bit of chilli, not too much, because it's breakfast of course, and I'm not sure if these boys can handle it. So I'm going to put a bit of that on, and that's going to cut the sweetness of this one. And then this one's very simple, bit of lard and garlic and some chilli. So now I've cut that sweetness, hopefully Joe will stop moaning.
Yeah. This is my friend Joe Parrilla, by the way.
Hello.
He's a very handsome man, and he loves Chinese food just as much as me and Gary.
Who doesn't?
What are you saying? Are you enjoying that?
Well, I must admit, when I first tried it, it was a bit sweet. But now he's pimped it up, it's now right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
So
right up your soy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's great. Especially if you've got a little hint of a hangover from drinking gin cocktails.
Do we know anyone?
That was me last night.
I think it's a bit of a basic thing to say, but if you're new in Bangkok or new in Thailand, when I was first here, I used to think this is something to avoid. You know, you hear avoid the stuff sat on the table. I used to think that, oh, it's just sat there, and I know it's just condiments. But using the condiments has totally changed this dish for sure,
yeah,
and has taken it up levels. For me, it was too sweet, it was hiding the pork flavour, but now it brings everything out. Definitely get on these when you're in Thailand.
Your channel, Gary, taught me how to season food in Thailand.
I saw you shout me out on a video actually about that, so thank you.
Yeah, because like, I would just get a bowl of noodles like this and I would just eat it.
Yeah.
And then I would watch your videos and you'd be like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You mix it up and then you try it and then you go back and you keep seasoning it. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know what these things were.
Yeah. Now the problem is doing it before you try it. It's like automatic.
Yeah.
But
where are these dumplings, Gary? There we go. That's delicious.
I knew you'd like that. That's why I brought you here for the dumplings.
That's delicious. So, me, Gary and Joe, we bonded over that bowl of noodle soup and it was great to catch up, but we were still hungry. We wanted to give you a second option. Maybe you don't like noodles, don't worry. We're going to take you to a really delicious pork satay joint, just about 5-minute walk back through Chinatown towards where I'm staying. And again, Gary says it comes extremely highly recommended. It's lovely to explore Chinatown in the mornings, especially when you're with your friends, just catching up. And Gary's taking us to the second local spot for breakfast. Actually, this is only about 250 meters from the hotel, so really local.
All right, so the vibe is 45-year-old satay shop, only sell pork satay, and they do also sell pork liver satay if that's your thing, but this is one of the most famous satay in the area. All the locals know it.
look at the char on the outside.
I know, you don't usually get too much char, do you, in Thailand? They like to cut it off, but I like the fact that this has got those little black speckles all over it.
It's so smoky.
Yeah. Cooked over charcoal.
It's a shame they don't actually cook them out on the street like you find in other places, but how does it compare?
Top 5. Top 3. No, this would definitely be in my top 5 satay in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Like you said, I love the char.
You can taste the charcoal.
And you were telling me something interesting about this sauce.
One of the big universities here, I think it was Thammasat University, the science department used it as like a module, and they tried to like decipher what exactly are the ingredients they could recreate it themselves.
Is that good?
Yeah, good. And it is. Oh, sorry, Paddy. It is good. It's not overly sweet, is it? Not sure. Just around the corner from the best rated hotel in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a guy that's been there as well, and he's doing a video about it.
And after that second breakfast and so much food and exploration in Chinatown, it was finally time to go back to the hotel, grab a coffee, relax, check out, and conclude 24 hours in Chinatown. I really hope you found this video useful. Next up is a beautiful part of the city for those who love to stay in downtown tall skyscrapers, trendy hotels, nightlife, good cocktail bars, a beautiful park, and of course, lots to see and loads of delicious food to eat. I am of course talking about Silom. It's not just a boring city business district, there's loads to see and do. So let's go in and spend 24 hours in Silom. Welcome to the first location here in the heart of Silom. I've come to Arabica, posh coffee shop, and it's on the 55th floor of an apartment building or an office building, looking straight across the tower itself, the Mahanakon. Bit of a cloudy, overcast day, but with a nice warm coffee and a nice latte and a nice bench to sit and watch the view. It's quite a nice place. I've met a subscriber as well, which is quite nice. Actually, he kindly bought me a coffee, so thanks, mate. Just trying to convince him to move to Bangkok as we're just admiring this beautiful view across the entire city. If you do have, I'll put the link to this coffee shop in the description, but if you can't find it, then don't worry, it was quite difficult. Did you struggle to find it as well? Good luck. If you do make it, enjoy the view. I'm actually just killing time until 2 o'clock because that's when I can check in. So I think what I might do is, now I've had my caffeine, I'm gonna make my way down through the offices, down through the towers, and check in to the Mahanakon and see what it's like at this luxury hotel in the middle of the city. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my hotel is actually located inside the Mahanakon Tower itself. The tower itself is over 1,000 feet tall and has 78 floors, and it has retail spaces, luxury residences, and of course my hotel. If you want to get a closer look of the tower itself, then get off at the BTS at Chong Nonsi. The tower is literally outside the station, and for about $30 you can go to the very top and walk on the skywalk, but I'll show you what that's like later in the video. When you look at it from anywhere in the city, the skyline is massively improved by this building. This is one of the most beautifully designed, most original, most gorgeous looking structures, not just in this city, but in any city that I've ever seen. It really is incredible. Some people might say that it's reflective or looks like it's a Tetris game. I've seen people say it looks like Minecraft, or it's pixelated like a computer game. Either way, it's unique and it's different. Now, the bottom part of the tower is the hotel, which is where we're staying. Let's go check in, and I'll tell you how much I paid, because it didn't come cheap. I'm on the 12th floor, and these corridors are quite spooky. Kind of reminds me of The Shining. If you've ever seen that horror movie. But I think they've got a quite unique style. And here we are, much nicer than the pictures on booking. So I paid 10,000 baht per night. I'll give you my overall opinion of the stay at the end, obviously, and I am paying. You know, I don't get these things for free. Yeah, it's got that like retro feel, and I like the curved edges, I like the lighting, and the color scheme's quite nice. The view is absolutely gorgeous. It's got this uninterrupted view, and there's a gorgeous old building squashed, sandwiched between all of the new modern condos and office buildings. Oh, yep, that's very nice. That is absolutely gorgeous. Nice TV. Hopefully we can watch a horror movie together. Miss P is joining me, by the way, later in the video. She's at work today. Today's a Friday, so as soon as she's finished work, we're gonna meet up and we can enjoy a fancy hotel stay in the middle of the city. The staff asked me when I checked in, they said, oh, did you fly in today? Are you tired? Are you jet lagged? And I said, no, I just got the BTS. Took me 10 minutes. Oh, I'll tell you what they did give me, which was quite nice when I checked in. They gave me this. This is a voucher for me and my girlfriend to go to the rooftop bar for free. Otherwise, it's normally 1,000 baht per person on the weekends. So we can go up there after 7 p.m. So I don't think they let you go up there for sunset, which is the busiest time. But I've been up there for sunset before with Gary, and it is always so busy. So Going up in the evening, that'll be nice. So that's a free activity that we can do thanks to the hotel. Plus they gave us some vouchers for cocktails at one of the cocktail bars. There are 3 or 4 restaurants and bars within the hotel, some here on the lower levels and then up on the very top roof area of the building. So that's nice, we've got some freebies to enjoy. So what I think I'm gonna do is, to be honest, gonna take off this nice shirt because I don't want to get it all sweaty because I want to go walk around and explore this area properly. So let me just quickly have a costume change. There we go. Just so that I can walk around and explore, get sweaty, and then I can come back and still wear that nice shirt tonight and Miss P won't complain about me smelling of BO. So let's go explore the rest of the hotel a little bit and the local area. I should mention that the rest of the facilities in the hotel were absolutely incredible. The gym was amazing, and the gym comes with personal trainers, so you can get a really good workout here. There's a jacuzzi and a great pool with fantastic views of the city, and just the general grounds of the hotel in the communal areas are just fantastic. It's beautiful. Although I think it's gonna rain. But let's get our walking shoes on, get out of the hotel and start exploring Silom. There is a lot to uncover, so let's get cracking and let's get exploring. This immediate area outside of the hotel is quite interesting. I've never actually been to this part of Bangkok. This is the Silom Sathorn junction area basically. And this beautiful tower here really does capture and dominate the skyline. Everywhere you go, it really is quite incredible. I also thought that since it's this close to pouring down rain any second, I might go for a little bit of a wander in the nearby park. And if it really does lash it down, I might retreat back to the hotel. One thing about this part of Bangkok is it's very, very noisy. You've got the BTS that goes across, and as it does this tight turn, it's very, very loud. And then you have that on top of the traffic. It's definitely not the quietest, most serene part of the city, but if you've got headphones and a good audio book or some tunes, or you like this chaotic sound, you'll fit right in. What I've loved about this series more than ever, and what I really hope that you're taking away from this, is the importance of moving around within the city that you live in or the city that you think you know. Because I've lived in Bangkok now for two and a half years, and I am discovering neighborhood by neighborhood. You know, this isn't exactly an area I've never been to before. I've been on the BTS, passed this area 1,000 times, been in a tuk-tuk here, whizzing home after a night out or something. So by doing these videos, I'm realizing the sights, the smells, the streets, the soys, the people. It's just like being in a new city. This is the equivalent of me going to Tokyo for the first time. Really, like I've never seen these layouts, I've never seen these restaurants, I've never seen these people. I see so many foreigners in this area in full suit and tie. Like this is the industry, this is the finance center, this is where multinational corporations have their head offices. If they are based in Bangkok, this is where their offices are. And so there are a lot of international people. People from America, Canada, Italy, Japan, China, in suits, on their phones. It's very much the hustle and bustle business financial center of Bangkok. And I love it. And this building is gorgeous, this whole area. Next level. Let's get to the park before it literally is going to piss down. A little piece of advice, if you come to Bangkok or Thailand or Southeast Asia in general and it starts raining, don't panic. The showers never last more than a few minutes typically. I mean, it's already 2 minutes after that few clips and it stopped. So you might look out the window, see the rain and think, oh my God. Just take a rain jacket with you. an umbrella and you'll be fine. Don't panic. The rain will pass and then more rain will come later. It's not like back in the UK where you'll just have a blanket of drizzle and rain for 2 weeks. These storm clouds, these rain clouds, because it's so hot and humid in Thailand, it sucks up moisture, it dumps it down and it moves on and goes into a cycle. All right, welcome to Lumpini Park. About 10 minutes it took me to walk here from the hotel and the rain has gone. I tell you what though, when you're in Bangkok after a storm, oh, it gets so humid and you sweat. Look, this park is under renovation right now. There's a huge project going on at the front entrance and through the main section. So you can hear the loud drilling. So it's not very serene, unfortunately, at the moment. But this park is fantastic for your afternoon walk, your morning run, actually. The good thing about this park, guys, compared to other parks in Bangkok, is this one opens at 4:30 in the morning. So if you do live nearby in one of these beautiful condo buildings, you'll be able to wake up and get your morning run in this beautiful park before work or whatever you're up to. One thing I would say about this park, other than it's beautiful when it's not under renovation, is you have to tread carefully, very carefully actually, because this park is home to Bangkok's largest water lizards. It's famous for it actually. In fact, one of the most viral videos to come out of Thailand in recent years was when one of these lizards crossed the street and went into 7-Eleven and started climbing up the shelves and scared the crap out of everybody. Absolutely huge, and they live in this park wild. There's a family over there actually in one of those little pedal duck boat things. Now that looks fun until you actually find one of these lizards with your own eyes. In fact, they've actually just spotted one. There's one over there in the root systems, and they're not to be messed with. Some of them can get, when they're fully grown, they can get up to about 2 meters in length and weigh huge amounts. I don't know the exact details, but when you do find them, be careful, don't mess around with them. They're not after you, they're not gonna hunt you down or your children. I think they mainly feed on dead animals and fish and things, but they can be quite terrifying. So just be careful where you walk. If you go off-piste, keep your eyes peeled. Talking of which, there he is, look, right there. Now, even though they are completely used to us, I still don't feel too comfortable getting any closer than this. I know these animals are harmless, but there's like a little kid on a bicycle walking next to her dad, and they just went right past this. They didn't notice it, neither did I until I actually looked at it. It scared the crap out of me. Okay, this has been a lovely little walk in the park. I need to come to Lumpini more often. But normally when I come here, it's boiling hot and I sweat buckets. And I always feel like there are nicer parks, smaller parks, but because they're renovating it, you can see that it's going to be epic. Lots of places to come with your kids, so there's places to play. They've got like playgrounds and things. Obviously I'm not going to film kids playing in the playground, that's a bit weird. But they've got now these boats you can go out with your girlfriend and kids and stuff, and that sounds quite fun. And the renovation work is in stages, and so one area they're doing it, and then they're going to finish that area and move on to another area. The flowers, the trees, the landscaping, the lizards, the playgrounds, the boats, the views, and for the first time in my life I'm not sweating my bollocks off because of the weather today. It's beautiful. You've got to come to Lumpini if you're staying in this area, especially if you're staying at the Mahanakon. Go stretch your legs, go for a run. Oh, this smells amazing. There's quite a lot of street food knocking around this area, surprisingly, and these guys are knocking out some delicious fried meats. Chicken hearts, chicken legs, chicken butts. But I'm going for the pork mu ping because it's so char grilling lovely on this coal grill here. Nice atmosphere around here. There is actually a really highly recommended Isang restaurant just across the street. But when I saw these guys knocking out this mu ping and it looked boiling freshly hot and they've got this nice dipping sauce, I just decided that I'd have this instead. This is not dinner, this is not lunch, this is just I need something to eat before I meet Miss P later because I'll get hangry, I'll get really hungry and then I'll probably get moody and she'll get the hump. That is delicious. I just love exploring new parts of the city. It really is like a drug. Exploring new streets. Even in a city that I've lived in for so long, in a country that I've traveled inside and out, just coming to a new area, setting up base, and being on the street at foot level, right? On foot, exploring on foot, I should say. Because it's one thing whizzing past in the BTS or in a taxi, or going to the pub for a pint with your mates and then coming straight home. But once you actually get to know a new part of the city, it really does just open your eyes. It makes it feel fresh, it makes it feel new once more. A little bit of a car accident going on. Okay then, let me talk you through our incredible evening here in Silom. We'll begin the night in the tower and then we'll start exploring the nearby streets. The lovely Miss P arrived around 6 p.m. after she had finished work and we went on the hunt for something to eat. Now the hotel had 3 restaurants. We checked out 2 of them. And because Miss P saw something that she really liked, we ended up going here instead.
They have mac and cheese.
Miss P ordered the mac and cheese and this delicious looking pork steak, and I went for the burger that came with foie gras and fried eggs. Delicious.
Oh my god, no.
That's what I wanted. Just outside of the Mahanakhon is another hotel called the W Hotel, and they own this beautiful old building that has a very beautiful surprise inside. This wooden building was built by King Rama V as a present to a Thai person responsible for building the canals in this area, and then later it became the Russian embassy, a few other things, until it was bought by the W Hotel and turned into this event center and cocktail bar. The drinks, the bartenders, the decor are world class and easily me and Miss P's new favorite spot for going for cocktails. I went for this whiskey-based drink that came with a garnish of a chocolate cream, and it was delightful. Oh wow, that is magic. That's magic. Thank you so much. Oh wow. Even though it's so full of alcohol, it's so sweet and so aromatic. The gardens and the grounds of this building are beautiful. If you're looking for a cocktail spot, if you're looking for a date spot, bring someone special here and they will be very impressed. Then it was time to see what else we could find, and just a stone's throw from the hotel was this place. It's called Troc Silom, and it's a rooftop bar with a twist. Sitting at just above the height of the BTS on level 7, I believe, is this packed joint with cold beers, cheap food, and a very unique view of the BTS whizzing past the night skyline. One of the most unique bars in the city for sure. Live music, great atmosphere, cheap drinks, and a view of the BTS. It just adds to the whole atmosphere. Very unique, very Thai. We then kept exploring on foot to see what else we could find, and we stumbled across Silom 4. This is the gay area of the Silom town, and we've actually had a couple of nights out here in the past with our friends. We've been to ladyboy shows, cabaret shows, very good fun. And next door to this is the Patpong night market. This one's a bit of a strange one because lots of families, lots of tourists walking past the stalls selling fake sunglasses, fake goods, and all the usual tourist tat. There is also street food here. It's very foreigner friendly. You've got French fries and spring rolls. You can get a pad thai here. Not the most authentic Thai food in Bangkok, but it'll do the trick if you're looking for some Thai cuisine on a budget, or just some chicken nuggets to go with your cold beer. Be warned, there are nightclubs and strip clubs on this street, and some of them have their doors open, so if you are with kids, they might see something that they'll never forget. One end of Patpong Night Market is Shenanigans. This is an Irish bar, and I highly recommend it for two reasons. The first being, it has the best pint of Guinness in Bangkok, in my opinion. And on Friday nights, which this was, they have the Bangkok Beatles. They play every week, I believe, and they sing for hours on end, playing all of your favourite Beatles songs. They do requests, they sound incredible, and it's a great night out every Friday here at the Irish bar. And we made our way back to the Mahanakhon to end our evening by going up the lift and up the stairs to the very top of the building, where we got our complimentary visit to the rooftop terrace. Normally this would be 1,000 baht plus on a weekend, but because we were staying at the Standard, this was given to us for free, as it will be to you as well if you stay there. The idea is you can come up here and have cocktails, have drinks, and of course walk on the glass bottom panels, so the city is below you. It's very exciting, it's very terrifying, very fun, and a great way to see the Bangkok skyline at night. What a view, what a view. So that was our evening in Silom and in the Mahanakhon area. And so the next morning we decided to tackle the breakfast at the hotel. What was it like staying at a 5-star hotel in the center of Bangkok? Well, we made our way downstairs and we were quite surprised. They do French style food and it is a la carte. They have a menu, so no buffet, and you just order what you want. The service, the decor is fantastic. The only issue was the dishes themselves were very small. So we had a few dishes each, and then we realized we were still very hungry, so we ordered another 2 dishes. And after that, we still realized that we were still hungry. So we ended up, instead of looking like greedy bastards, we decided to go downstairs, pop across the street, because Miss P had found a gorgeous looking French cafe that she wanted to check out, and we were so glad we did. Look at this chocolate almond croissant, 2 hot chocolates, and a nice little table outside to enjoy the morning with a lovely French bakery and coffee. It tasted delicious, was very romantic, and quite unique, especially if you know what it's like here in central Bangkok. A great find. Well done, Miss P. And just up the road, and our last location in this video is Wat Hua Lamphong. This is a beautiful temple that I've driven past 100 times but never gone inside, and I'm so glad that since it was quite close we got inside to check it out. Yeah, what a lovely temple this is. We saw it last night from up above on top of the tower, and it seems so close and so big, and there are so many different types of blessings going on. Pitchy just told me what's going on. There's people blessing for love, people blessing for money, all sorts of different blessings going on here. That's what I love about Buddhism. There's so many elements. and facets of it. Every temple seems to have its own thing. This one has multiple things going on. Quite hard to understand, but that's one of the magic things about living in Thailand. Sometimes you don't need to understand everything, you can just be blown away. And there's lots of cats here too. All right, everyone, that concludes another 24 hours, this time in Silom at the Mahanakhon at the Standard Hotel. And I really hope you enjoyed the video. It was great to get to know this part of the city. It's brand new for me, and it might have been brand new for you. Maybe I've put this place on the list for your next trip to Bangkok. If you'd like me to go and deep dive into another province or another area, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear, and I'll make it possible in the future. Next up, I want to share my personal favorite area of Bangkok that many tourists don't go to. I am, of course, talking about the old capital, a really unique part of Bangkok full of canals, beautiful homestays, Airbnbs, locals living their best life, beautiful temples, and one of the most unique experiences you can do in this part of Bangkok, or in the whole part of the city, to be honest. So let's go and spend 24 hours in the beautiful, the historical, the charming Thonburi. Now, there are two sides to this city that most people are very familiar with. You've got Khao San Road, where all the backpackers and all of the travelers who are passing through this beautiful country tend to sit down, share a few beers, paint the town red. And then you've got the skyscrapers of downtown and the Sukhumvit area, home to luxury malls, the SkyTrain, fancy restaurants, and let's face it, high prices. But there are many other sides to this city, including this area. This is Thonburi. It used to be the old capital, and it's home to these canal waterway systems, a really unique local community, and a real authentic Bangkok atmosphere. So we're gonna jump into this area. We're gonna stay here. I'm gonna be staying at this beautiful wooden canal house. I'm gonna be meeting a guy called Om, who is kind of like the mayor of this area. He knows everyone. He's going to be our gateway to learn about this community. And we're going to meet some friendly faces who call this part of Bangkok their home as well. And we're just going to relax, stroll down the canals, meet the wildlife, meet the locals, have some fun, just spend 24 hours in one of the most underrated and most unique parts of this incredible city of Bangkok, Thailand. Let's go. Now, just because I have connections in this part of Bangkok doesn't mean that this area is off limits to most tourists or anyone watching this video. I'm going to be sharing all of the contact information for Om and all of the tour companies that you can use to experience this area of Bangkok on your next trip to Thailand. So sit down and relax, enjoy the episode, and all of the information, everything that you need will be in this video. So if we're going to immerse ourselves in this part of Bangkok, then we need to stay in this part of Bangkok. And I found this place. This is the beautiful canal house, a traditional wooden canal house on the canal's edge. And I found this on Airbnb, and I will link it in the description below if you do want to book a night here. Let me just quickly show you around because it's really charming. So all throughout this accommodation, they've got beautiful antique traditional Thai furniture, like this table and chair situation. Not that fridge. That fridge is obviously very modern and full of water. You've got your coffee machine, your coffee maker, and lots of spooky but very cool antique Thai furnishings like the grandfather clocks. And this is my bedroom. Lovely double bed, nice soft mattress and gorgeous pillows. Aircon. This is a beautiful little view of a really unique part of Bangkok, and as you can see, there is a balcony just outside of actually the kitchen. Let me show you the balcony because that's definitely the nicest part of this Airbnb and where I'm spending most of my time people watching. So when you come through, there's these gorgeous tiles and wooden platform here, little bench, even some sun lounges if you do want to lie down, read a book, and just watch the world go by as people are on little tours or as the locals are using these canals to get around. You can hear the wooden creaking of the neighbors' homes. Even this one actually, which is gorgeous. When you actually sit back and you look at it, it's this gorgeous white canal house with little touches of outside lights, detailing in the wood, even the plants growing in the basket. It's really quite pretty. I come here quite often, guys, but I've never made a video about it. But every time I've come here, there's a new house that's fallen into the canal. There's a new house that's fallen down. And if you're worried, by the way, do people swim in it? They do. This guy just jumped in. Hello. The locals swim in the canals here to cool off. Oh. If you're thinking, will I join these two lads? The answer's no. I didn't bring my swimming costume. And I don't know, would you swim in the canals of Bangkok? Oh, thank you. Khao pad gai. Having a little bit of a lunch before me and Om go on our little boat cruise. Om, he works really hard. He owns a company called Hidden Bangkok Tours. They're on Instagram. I'll link them below. You can definitely book a tour. I've been on a few. They're amazing. And he's just saying goodbye to a few of the tours that are heading out for an afternoon sunset cruise. They also do tuk-tuk tours as well. And yeah, he's a busy boy, but he's the guy who I'm going to introduce you to in a minute. But first, I need to get some food in me because I think we're going to have a few beers with the locals this evening, or try to like just meet people and ask them questions. And normally, anywhere in the world, if you approach people who you don't know with cold beer, they are normally a bit more up for being on film. Bye. เชิญครับ Bye. We've got some pirates coming aboard.
20 นาทีแล้วกลับมาเนี่ย
ไม่ได้เจอทีเลยเหรอ
มาขึ้นไปเลยขึ้นเนี่ย
Give him a hand, give him a hand.
ใช่พี่บ้านพี่กะพี่ได้ไหมวะ
มันลื่นเหรอ
โอ้ยเหนื่อย
Why did you invite the boys? Do they enjoy having a free boat ride, or what is it?
To be honest, like these boys are born and raised in here, right?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the first time that they were on a boat, and they are seeing their tourists
Every day.
every day. Like I think they probably want to know too, right?
What is it like?
What it's like, yeah.
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดี So yeah, this is Om.
สวัสดีครับ
And Om, you've been a champion for Thonburi in this area of Bangkok for many, many years. You've set up your
Thank
business
you.
here.
Yeah.
Like what is unique about this place compared to, obviously, where I live in Sukhumvit?
Right.
It's the opposite of this, you know.
Yeah.
This is a whole different deal.
Yeah, I was born and raised in this neighborhood, which is like the Thonburi side, which is like in the former capital city of Bangkok. Since I was young, you know, I always see like the tourists came to Bangkok and stay only around like, you know, the Grand Palace, you know, like their Sukhumvit area. People just cross to Thonburi side, just only to see Wat Arun, the temple of Dawn. And then they just think there's only the pagoda, Wat Arun, right?
Yeah.
And then right away they cross back to Wat Po side. So there's this is like the city behind the pagoda. This is the city, this is the life.
This is the real Bangkok.
This is the real Bangkok. This is, look, if you look at here, you don't really see like there are skyscrapers around here, right? There's a pros and cons. อย่าเพิ่งโดดไปนะลูกนะ There's a pros and cons, you know. The good things about this is like you don't see like skyscraper around here. That because the land belongs to the temple. I would say in this like old waterways, you will see like probably more than 200 temples along these old waterways. People want to see different side of Bangkok, and we are, you know, taking the people like out beaten park, like trying to let the tourists come and see like what the real life of Bangkok is. Yeah, how like these kids, you know, the life, like what they eat, and then talk to them. You know, when the people come to Thailand, right? If you want to go to Khao San Road, you want to go to the Grand Palace, I think it's cool. But at least, you know, try to come and visit this site, you know, and then you can see like the big contrast. You know, another thing is you just saw, right? Super greens. It didn't look like Bangkok at all, right? If you get off here, we get on a taxi. Only 10 minutes you can go to Icon Siam, which is like the most luxurious shopping mall. Look at the people alive in there.
Look at these people.
Yeah. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดี สวัสดี โชคดีครับ โชคดีครับ They're having ice cold beers in plastic cups, sat on the little gazebo. Some of the houses here are quite nice, aren't they? The one
Yeah,
behind you, look at
I can tell like when you see the houses like this, they have car access.
that.
Yeah, if you see like very fancy houses.
ไฮโซเหรอ
ไฮโซใช่ครับ
Oh, look! Big dragon coming.
เออตัวเงินตัวทองไปเลย
สวัสดีค่ะ
Did you try to touch them?
Yeah.
There's another one right in front of you.
Oh, God.
เอิร์ธเป็นชาละวันไหม
Give it a kiss. Go on.
ชาละวันไหม
We'll get a million views on
ชาละวัน
TikTok.
ปะจับได้ไหมเอิร์ธ He's almost like jumped to catch him.
These kids live in this part of Bangkok, and every day they see people coming on this tour, right? And they probably think, why do these people pay money to come look around our neighborhood? That's so weird. But look at this. I mean, there's birds, there's lizards, it's peaceful. Look, even they're getting excited about what they're seeing because they've never seen it from this perspective before. Oh, look at these two, very romantic.
You guys know this one? This is called Mini Heart.
Nice place to come on a date. Nice
like
place to
that.
come on a group tour, share the cost.
Yeah, sorry, interrupt you. So I like this scene because we are on the water right now,
Yeah.
and then you are seeing car passing by, and then eventually you might see the MRT, which is like their sky train on this side of the
Boat,
river.
car, and train. All
Yeah,
in
which
one
is like
shot.
explains a lot about like a Bangkok transportation transform, you know.
Oh, the train.
Oh, so lucky. หน้าอะไรนะหน้าตกปลา Yeah, you know, like the whole conversation we were talking about where should they fish. Like, oh, here is like good place to fish.
By the way, I'm drinking Maha Nakhon craft beer. It was for sale where you get on the boat, and I thought, let's try it. It's okay. It's not changed my life. Chokdi krab. When you were a kid, you used to swim in the canal too.
Yeah, this is kind of like the way that you build your immunity. You get your germ, right? So you build your immunities. But honestly, like when I was young, for sure, less pollution. You know, water cleaner because less human, right? So less pollution. But right now, it's like the kids they know, you know, like when it's good.
Cruising down the canals of this area of Bangkok is a fascinating experience, and we continued on for quite a while, admiring the larger-than-life creatures that call this place home, and we met a few more of the locals that live here on the water's edge, and we just soaked up the incredible atmosphere of this laid-back oasis bang in the middle of the city. Soon we made our way back towards the restaurant and where the kids lived. Om wanted to get back on to dry land and show me some other areas of Thonburi, but when we reached the house where the kids live, instead of letting us park on the canal's edge and to drop them off nicely and safely, well, they had other plans. Boys will be boys. Bye. Bye. Oh, jeez. I was not expecting that. They just belly flopped off the boat.
His mom asking me, hey, I'm looking for my son.
Om is such a nice guy, and he was really kind and gave me a guided tour of his local neighborhood. And he told me lots of interesting stories about how the locals live here and how they've adapted to the modern day Bangkok that has developed and grown over the years all around them. There's a lot of beautiful local artwork that tells the stories of the people who call these canals their home, and he showed me around some of the temples that serve this community.
And you know, that's so funny because like you walk from here only 10 minutes to Wat Arun, the temple of Dawn, where it's like maybe million tourists visit a day, you know.
Yeah.
And here you see like this kind of local temple where there's no tourists at all. So this is Uncle Paul.
Hello, Sawadika.
Hello.
How are you? Nice to meet you, buddy.
Bye, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
What about you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Where you come from?
I come from England.
England. Oh.
Yeah. This is very, very, very common in Thailand. Someone will just have a fridge in their house and they'll just start selling beers, right?
Yeah, you probably want to support these kind of people, right? Yeah.
Better than 7-Eleven. Thank you, darling, thank you. That's for you, Om. That's for you, that's for you.
ขอบคุณครับ
And that's for some bloke who I don't know, but I'm happy to buy everybody a beer today.
Before I work in the national school.
Oh, really?
Bangkok.
Oh, okay.
So I 50.
Nice. You speak very good English.
He used to work in the international school when he was younger.
Yeah.
ISB.
ISB. You Oh,
Very nice school.
long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago, about 50 years ago.
Yeah, and now you're retired.
I know. Yeah, I retired 20 years already.
จริงเหรอ70
ตอนนี้เท่าไหร่
82.
You're 82? No
Yeah.
way. No
Yeah.
way. You're 82?
Yeah.
No, you look like a
I
baby.
don't lie you.
You look like a baby.
ประวัติไม่มี งั้นเอาปลาหมึก100
There's literally nothing better than when you're having a few beers than when an old lady with a charcoal barbecue swims up next to you on her little boat and sells you some char-grilled squid.
ฮะเห็ดกินได้เหรอ
Alma was just telling me that she's been doing this for 20, 30 years and she has sent her children to university to do master's degrees all through her hard work, every day going up and down on that little boat selling squid. So you can see that using that machine, she's flattened it out, which has broken up the quite coarse skin into something a little bit more manageable, a bit more stringy. Smells very strong of the sea and salt and squid. Would you eat this? I'm going to just try a little bit raw before I use that very delicious looking dipping sauce. Tastes way better than it looks. It's chewy, it's salty, it's just a very nice beer snack. If we get that dipping sauce with peanuts, chili flakes, chili oil, that looks absolutely delicious. Fold it up into a little seafood parcel of love. Can't get any better than that.
with beer. Cheers.
อร่อยมาก Yeah, there's nothing quite like experiencing the local way of life in such a setting so different to the one that I grew up with. These types of moments here in Thailand are the ones that I never forget, and I can't think of a better evening than sinking a few beers at sunset, making new friends, eating weird and wonderful snacks, all in this unique part of the mega city that is Bangkok. Morning. Local areas, local prices. 2 baht a piece, so 10 baht for a bag of freshly baked or freshly fried bread. When Miss P has these, she gets them with like this milky condensed milk dipping sauce. God, that storm is going mad. It's really humid and it's really hot, and I think the rainy season is around the corner, thank God. But yeah, I don't have any creamy, delicious yogurty drink, and he gives me a tissue because they are quite greasy. I mean, they're fresh from the frying pan. Delicious. And these temple grounds by the canal, they are very impressive. They're under construction a little bit, but there's so many incredible statues. Wasn't quite sure which one to choose, so I just got some pork and some sticky rice. 15 baht for 2 pieces, with a little bit of sticky rice. Very cheap.
ได้จับน้องหน่อย
Now, this moody weather and the storm brewing all around us was actually a very welcome relief. And so we decided to take a morning cruise and enjoy this cooler weather and search for some more local food and coffee for breakfast. Om was joining me again, but this time my good friend Gary and his little boy Finley came along for the ride. Gary also lives in this area of Bangkok and knows it like the back of his hand, and he said he knew some great spots to find some coffee and some delicious food. So we set sails in search of some delicious grub.
All right, buddy.
Gary's brought us to a really brilliant place to get morning coffee, and it's closed.
They're on a well-deserved break. The only time they've been on holiday in the last 15 years happens to be the day that I bring Paddy in the pouring rain to have a coffee. But fear not, I've still got stir fry for you, my friend. I've still got stir fry.
There is the most incredible view of the Big Buddha, by the way, even in the rain. On a normal day, when this little coffee shop is open, you can sit here and just stare down at the Big Buddha, and in this morning storm it looks even more beautiful than it normally does. There's this little local wet market here, and normally we would come and have a little coffee, but obviously it's shut. But lots of delicious food. Gary's found this quite authentic little hole-in-the-wall place. We're going to order something delicious, I'm sure.
Lovely jubbly, look at that. Look, we've got dried chilli, we've got fresh chilli, we've got minced pork, we've got 2 lovely yolks. Look, made a little face there. Look.
Busman's holiday for you today, isn't it?
What?
Gary, that looks like a fly.
Oh.
It looks like a fly?
A fly's face.
Oh my god.
It does actually, doesn't it? Look.
Oh yeah, it does look like a fly's face. Bon appetit.
It's one of my favourites.
Bon appetit, baby.
Alright, so this is tom yum, but with seasoned pork meatballs. So we've got fatty pork mince, we've also got prawns, some mushrooms, we've got nam kon, so we've got dark, so we've got some evaporated milk in here, not condensed milk, evaporated milk, loads and loads of chilli, some lime juice, lemongrass, all those beautiful herbs.
Oh,
yeah.
crispy belly pork, lovely jubbly. So Gary, what have we got here?
Alright, so we've got kanom krog. It's a coconut milk, rice flour, coconut flesh pudding. It's like mixed into a batter, and then they cook it in these little pots with these divots in.
Pumpkin coconut dessert for breakfast. Talk to me about this dessert. How is it?
Man, hello mate. Come down with you, I'll come down with you. What is it? Good? Good? Tell them about the dessert. Is it sweet? Salty?
It's sweet. Oh, very nice.
One more? One more.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
อร่อยไหม
Thumbs up. Yeah.
You've got to do a bit to get a thumbs up from him, honestly. Usually it's like that.
โอเคไปบ้านเลยดิ
Since Thonburi is home to some beautiful temples and the rain started to come down quite heavily, we sought after some shelter in one of the most impressive ones, Wat Pak Nam.
Gary, let's go look round here.
Come on, Gary. Come on, Gary.
Gary, Helen's hired me as a babysitter, so.
Gary!
I'm like the.
You're not really his dad, you're just Gary.
Just a weird uncle.
Oh, look at the big storm out to Sukhumvit.
This is. For any of you not in Thailand, it has been like desert heat, the hottest I've been for probably the last 6 weeks of my life. Like I've never ever felt heat like it, and I've been here for 9 years. So just to have a little bit of cool weather is like, oh.
I know.
Okay. Thank you, my boy.
You just go straight. Yeah.
Okay, this is the last section of the video, and this one is for the foodies out there. Bangkok, of course, is known for delicious food, whether it's cheap street food stalls to high-end luxury Michelin star restaurants. And in this next section of the video, I'm going to be going to only Michelin guided restaurants or street food stalls. So honestly, some of these dishes I'll be eating, even though they're on the Michelin guide, some of them are $3 all the way up to $300 a plate. So this is where you're going to be wanting to get really into the food scene. Again, everything will be linked in the description. Enjoy the next 24 hours of us eating only Michelin guided or Michelin starred food in the beautiful city of Bangkok. Okay, welcome to Monday's lunch. I've made my way to the northern area of Bangkok, out here in Bang Po. It's good to know that the Michelin guide doesn't just concentrate on central Bangkok. It's showing some love to the outer suburb areas. And on the side of the street, in this little neighborhood, there is this place. You know, it's amazing to me how the Michelin guide finds these places, because there are a million like this in Bangkok. However, I must say that upon arriving here, I can see how high standard the ingredients are. There's fresh prawns, there's an incredible fish soup with mushrooms bubbling away out front, and they're very proud to not only be on the Michelin guide this year in 2024, but the previous 4 years in a row, which is an incredible feat. Now, before I show you what I've ordered, because this place is very affordable, one of the dishes I've ordered is only 80 baht, and it looks incredible. But before I show you, you might be wondering, what is the actual Michelin guide? What's the difference between the Michelin guide and getting a Michelin star? And why is Michelin, a tire company, involved in a culinary food list and a culinary food guide in the first place? So let me give you a little bit of background. In the 1900s, or thank you, yeah, I've got a second dish coming right here. Lovely jubbly, thank you. So not in the 1900s, in 1900 exactly, so over 124 years ago now, Michelin decided to come up with an idea to sell more tires. Obviously, Michelin is a tire company, and they thought that by introducing a guide to highlight really delicious restaurants in France, and then obviously later around Europe, and then now obviously all around the world, they thought that by highlighting incredible places to eat, people would be encouraged to get in their cars, drive longer distances to find these places, to eat at these places, and in doing so, wear out their tires, buy more tires, and Michelin would make more money, right? To get on the Michelin guide, you have to be visited by anonymous Michelin inspectors that will turn up to your restaurant unannounced, anonymously, and they will judge your food on and judge your restaurant on a few criteria. In order to get on the Michelin guide, they will test the quality of the ingredients used, the mastery of the flavor and the cooking techniques, the personalities of the chefs and their cuisine. Is it value for money? And finally, they come back again and again to check the consistency of the culinary standards, which is great because they're not just going to come here once and have a great fried rice and say, right, let's put this on the guide. They'll come again and again and again until they find and discover that you are knocking out great food consistently. And then after all of that is considered, at the end of the year, once a year, they put out a list. And if your restaurant makes it, you get the red badge, you get the stamp of approval from Michelin. And this one here, this beautiful little shop in the middle of the suburban area of Bangkok, has been on the list for 4 years in a row. And in 1936, they decided to start awarding Michelin stars, which means you had to go even further. You had to show even more skill, technique, and excellence in your food and in your cuisine, and if you were given a Michelin star. Most people have 1 Michelin star, some incredible restaurants might have 2, and I don't know how many there are right now, but there are apparently available 3 Michelin stars. If you get 3 Michelin stars, your restaurant has exceptional cuisine worth of a special journey, is what Michelin say. So this particular place here is on the Michelin Guide. So it doesn't have a Michelin star, but it's still on the Michelin Guide, and I've made the trip out here. So what have I ordered? So I've ordered congee, which is rice porridge with pork and eggs. This is a very wholesome lunch. Typically it's served in the mornings, typically in the mountains of Thailand. You get that delicious hot rice porridge served with pork, sometimes chicken, and then there's normally an egg in there and shavings of garlic and black pepper. I've also added a sprinkle of chili flakes and some chilies and vinegar just to give it a little bit more bite, a little bit more acidity. And I've also ordered some deep fried crab meat rolls. Now these were 200 baht, but according to the picture, it looks like they're full of crab meat, so that's why they're a little bit more expensive. So all in all, with a bottle of water, 2 dishes and a water is gonna cost me less than $10 for this delicious lunch here in a Michelin Guide approved restaurant on the side of the road here in Bangkok. I didn't add any additional black pepper because she kind of gave a hefty amount on top of the shredded garlic. Inside here, look at that. There's your semi-cooked poached egg. Look at the way the egg yolk there is perfectly cooked. It was still solid, and now I've pierced it. I can really mix up all the ingredients. Rice porridge, guys, might not appeal to you. And I know when my sister came to visit me, she did not like the concept of a rice porridge. But living in Thailand for so long, you really find your taste for this. This becomes something that you absolutely love. And whenever I or Miss P, whenever we get sick or we get a cold, this dish comes to the rescue. Let's see how the pork and everything tastes. It's absolutely delicious. The pork is seasoned perfectly with pepper. The hit of the acidity of the vinegar dressings, the chili flakes that I've added, the shredded garlic adds that pungent crunchiness. The rice porridge is creamy. It's not too watery. It's got thick substance to it. Now that I've mixed that egg in there, it's all coming together, and it's absolutely delicious and a perfect lunch. The menu here is quite generous. They've got about 7 or 8 different dishes, which is not too many. So they specialize in these dishes, which is great. They've been here for 38 years, although recently, over the last 4 years, they seem to have found their magic. Let's try one of these deep fried crab rolls. Look at this particular parcel. This is packed full of crab meat. I can see why this place is on the Michelin Guide. Delicious. Okie dokie, welcome to Tuesday's lunch. Now, we're now located over in the Old Town, the older part of Bangkok, and this is where I think most of the rest of the restaurants in this list are going to be located. We're actually only about a 5-minute walk from Khao San Road. This place is called Pad Thai Phai Tha Lu. And it's quite cool, the decor. It's Japanese themed. We've got like just retro vibes in here. There's some Japanese toys on display, and then instead of having the fried pork and the chicken on display, he's got some water guns, and there's a disco ball, and they're playing Isan music in here. So it's quite retro. It's quite cool. And their menu is quite a big document, but there's only about 6 or 7 actual things you can have. You can have really nice drinks in here. They have cocktails and coffees. They also have big jugs of slushy cocktail. So this is the kind of place you could come to break up your night on Khao San Road. You could just come here and carry on partying whilst having a delicious Michelin Guide approved pad thai. Better than the crap they sell on the street, I can tell you that. But then each page just sort of goes into detail about one of the pad thais that you can have here. I've gone for the chicken because it sounded really interesting. It's lychee fed, free range, smoked barbecue chicken pad thai. Whew, that's a hard one to say. Another list that you might be familiar with that's not on the Michelin guide, but the world's top 100 restaurants, which actually these days is more famous when they cut down to just the top 50 restaurants. Now, if you're considered to be one of the best restaurants in the world, you don't necessarily need to have a Michelin star, you just need to be on this top 50 restaurant list. And it's not connected to Michelin, it's not connected to the Michelin guide, it's a completely separate company. This list started its life in the UK, actually. In fact, I recently went to the only restaurant on that list in Thailand, in the top 10 actually. There's a few on the list in the top 50, but I went to the number 9 in the world restaurant recently, and that was called Gagan. And I went with Michael and Miss P. And I didn't make a video about it because it's an experience and I really just wanted to experience it. But I did get my phone out from time to time because we had something like 22 different courses and the food was very colorful, very interesting. The atmosphere was incredible. We all just sat on a bar. It was very musical, very experience forward dining experience. And so you can see why a restaurant like that is on the top 10 in the world. Okay, we're in business. Thank you. Carbon cap. All right, here we are. This is a very unique looking pad thai. I've never seen a pad thai looking like this, just because, I don't know, my initial impression is it's quite small. Bearing in mind, it's 250 baht, which is, if you live in Thailand, you know that's expensive for a pad thai, right? Fun fact about pad thai, by the way. In the 1940s, they had a competition or a vote here in Thailand to promote a new national dish, and pad thai won because the prime minister at the time wanted to reduce the consumption of rice. People were eating way too much rice and they were worried that they wouldn't be able to make enough money exporting it to other countries. So pad thai became the new thing. And for years, I avoided eating pad thai because I thought it was a cliche. But then again, when you rediscover this dish, it really is an incredible dish. So we've got the barbecue smoky chicken, which I can smell. I can smell the charcoal from the grill. It smells actually delicious. It smells quite sweet as well, and you would think that the fact that they're actually eating lychees all their whole life before they are harvested. And then the pad thai itself looks quite decent. Let's have a little, let's have a taste. Let's try the chicken first before we even get stuck into the pad thai. Let's squeeze a little bit of lime on here. Let's find the peanuts, which are underneath these spring onions. Mix that all on top. All right, I think now we're in business. It's not a big portion, guys. If I can actually get all of the noodles in the pad thai on one spoon. Let's give the noodles a try. It's good. It's sour. It's, you know, it's comfort food, right? And the meat brings that really smoky element to the dish, but I kind of wish I had some chili flakes on the side to spice it up a little bit. Okay, welcome to Wednesday's lunch, and I'm here at what is certainly my new favourite noodle joint in Bangkok, and here's why. Not only does it have Michelin guided approved noodle soup, which we'll order in a second, not only is it extremely affordable, only 60 baht for yen ta pho, which is what I'm going to order. But incredibly, when I arrived, firstly, I had a little look around, and there's a lot going on. You know, we've got a giant bubbling pot of stock under a huge gas stove, and it is quite incredible. And then you've got the ladies and the front of house staff knocking out lots of takeaways. A lot of people are ordering this on Grab for lunch, and they're really busy knocking out takeaway after takeaway. And there's only a few people sat here enjoying their lunch, actually at the table. But I was looking around for the Michelin Guide sticker, you know, the one that we've been seeing, but there is no sign of it. So I just double checked. It is actually still on the Michelin Guide, and it is on the list for the 2024 release, but they don't seem to care. They don't really want to brand it everywhere like other restaurants we've seen. I can't actually find it. If I keep looking, maybe I will. But on my search for the Michelin Guide sticker, I found, unbelievably, lots of memorabilia for Newcastle United, which is the team that I support in the UK. So the person who runs this, or owns this, must be a Geordie or a member of the Toon Army. So I already feel at home. It's cheap. They love the Toon. Sawadee krap. Can I get yen tafo, egg noodles,
Okay.
regular na? And my team is Newcastle.
Pardon?
Newcastle?
Oh.
That's my team. Are you a fan?
No,
Not you.
My brother.
Your brother?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here is our delicious smelling noodle soup. The beautiful, the fragrant, the colourful yen tafo. Now, yen tafo gets this red pinkish colour, really, from fermented bean sauce, or bean paste, I should say. Sometimes it's also used red bean soy as well. That's the reason why it gets this flavour, or this colour, I should say. And then inside, we've got fish balls. We also saw some fried fish balls coming out of the kitchen, out to the front, which are these lovely bad boys. There's also a crispy wonton. That looks really delicious, if I can hold it. There we go. Still crispy on the outside, and it's been a little bit softened now. It's been in the soup for a few minutes. And then we've got slices of fish cake and my egg noodles and a bunch of greens. Your typical Bangkok fish noodle soup. So is this one worthy of being on the Michelin Guide? Is this one elevated? Is this one next level, as they say? I'm just going to try this soup, this delicious pink broth, without any seasoning. I don't even think it needs any seasoning. It's that perfect balance. There's a lot of sweetness in there. There's a little bit of sourness. It's got savoury as well. It's a very well-rounded dish. I don't think it needs any vinegar or any sweetness. I might add a little bit of extra dried chili flakes, just because these look like they've been roasted. And when you get roasted chili flakes, they normally have a little bit extra smokiness. But otherwise, it doesn't need any seasoning. Let's try the wonton before it gets really soggy. That is an explosion. That is incredible. You know, you don't need to go to these fancy Michelin restaurants, the Michelin star restaurants, to get food that comes anywhere close to this. The egg noodles are perfectly al dente. Those smoky dry chili flakes have really helped elevate the spiciness of this to exactly what I like. Let's try some of this fish cake. I think this is probably my favorite dish on this list, in this video so far. Oh, spicy. All right then, welcome to Thursday's lunch, and we are out here again in the older part of the town near Chao Phraya, the river, the big river, and we're at a very busy, vibrant noodle joint. Is featured on the Michelin Guide. It's called Tang Jai Yang, and they specialize in noodle soup. I love the menu because it just gives you two options: pork noodle for 40 baht or beef noodle for 40 baht. 40 baht, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? Michelin Guide approved. And there's 2 or 3 people on a stand overlooking the street, and lots of covers, lots of people. This place is actually rammed, and it's nearly 3 o'clock. So I've missed the lunch rush, and it's still really busy. Look, I'll be honest with you, it's 40 baht. It's a small portion. It's definitely the most rough and ready in terms of presentation. There's not a lot of finesse involved. The bowl has a chip in it, and it just looks like it was thrown in the bowl, but it was only 40 baht. So that tells me that presentation isn't really an issue here. It's more a fact of taste. I hope you're enjoying this little video today. It's a bit different, but I could have probably filmed this in about a day or two and just eaten in every single place in a couple of days, but I'm trying to lose weight, guys. So one extravagant meal per day. I just put the chopsticks in back to front, mixing up this beef soup with noodles. Where's the beef? Okay, there's a little bit of beef at the bottom there. I'm guessing that these balls are beef, and there's some crunchy, delicious looking greens, and the egg noodles that I went for today. You get a lot more than we got yesterday, or the pad thai. You get a good amount for 40 baht, remember. 40 baht. And we get more noodles than we got at the 250 baht pad thai joint. There are strips of beef in here as well, which is good to know. So let's just get straight in there. Let's see how this tastes. The second that touched my lips, I knew this was going to taste good. This is already one of my faves. It's very aromatic and it's very, very packed full of flavour. It's quite spicy. They did ask me how spicy I wanted it, and I said, yeah, be generous. The egg noodles are perfectly al dente. The gravy is running down them like a treat. I'll tell you something in a second. Let me just have a bite. What I love about the Michelin Guide website, and this is what I've been using for research for this video, you can search for where you're going. So you can search Thailand, but be more specific. Be as specific as you can. When I searched for Bangkok, hundreds of restaurants appeared, and then you can sort them by what budget you're on, which I think is really good. So most of these videos are actually, most of these restaurants in this video are featured in the budget section. But as you'll see in the last restaurant, tomorrow's restaurant, that is in the highest bracket of budget. The only thing that I wish it did have is a map. Like, you know when you see on booking.com or Agoda all the hotels on the map, and then you hover over, because that would make it a lot easier to figure out where the restaurants are in comparison to your hotel or where you are, because you have to go into each single restaurant, read about where you are, what they've got, just keep scrolling down, and then you can see a Google map image of where it is, and then you can zoom in and zoom out to figure out exactly where it is. So it's a little bit annoying that they don't just have a map feature. So Michelin, if you're listening, please get a map feature where we can just open up a map of Bangkok or Thailand or wherever we're going, and then we can zoom in and see which Michelin Guide recommended restaurants, which Michelin star restaurants are actually in the area that we're exploring. Because another one that I researched that I want to go visit, just so happens, when I realized, when I looked at the map, it's actually only 50 meters down the road. So I'm going to finish this, and then we'll have a bonus lunch, a second lunch today on Thursday, because there's another restaurant just down the road that's also featured, and that also looks absolutely delicious. And since I've driven all the way here on Zelda for my lunch, I feel like we should give both places a try. But this one is absolutely delicious and the cheapest on the list so far. Like I said, this place is literally around the corner on the same street, and it's a little noodle joint once again, Mr. Joe's. But what I read online is they do incredible pork belly and shrimp dumplings, so I've just ordered that instead. I could have had their signature dish, which is the pork noodle soup, but I just had, you know, beef noodle soup, and I'm okay. And since everyone raves about how good this pork belly is, and I'm on a protein high diet, let's just get cracking. Yeah, I just feel like if the Michelin Guide website was a little bit more organized in terms of having a map feature, then I could have maybe hit a few more places this week. But because you have to go into each individual restaurant listing and then see where it is, it's not as efficient as it could be. Yep. Handmade, delicious prawn dumpling with a lovely soy vinaigrette. But this is the big hitter, the pork belly. Don't be afraid to eat fatty meat, guys. Be afraid to eat junk. You know, like this is probably way better for you than a Big Mac, even though it looks really bad for you, right? With the pork crackling on the side, which is bubbling up to perfection. Instantly delicious, instantly. This is so good. I think I'm going to order one more portion to take home to give to Miss P. This is absolutely incredible. And 2 for 1 on a Thursday lunch. Happy days. Okay, last but by no means least, we're coming to probably the most special, definitely the most expensive place on this list. This is a Michelin star restaurant and it's in a 5-star hotel, and we're here because it's our anniversary. The lovely Miss P and I are celebrating 3 years together, so we thought we would eat somewhere special, and it's made it onto this list on this video. Let's go upstairs and let's see if it's worth the hype. Okie dokie, we're just gonna speak softly because this restaurant's fancy. And no loud music or loud voices. How was your lunch?
It's amazing.
Yeah, very delicious. They have a huge a la carte menu as well as a set menu of 4 courses or 7 courses. We went for the 4 courses and it was plenty, wasn't it?
And we have it on the weekend, so I think the menu will be different on the weekdays.
Okay. Yeah, so we pretty much had a different plate of food every time, right? We didn't get the same thing, except for the langoustine, which was our favorite. The langoustine in the mushroom sauce with the peas, delicious.
Champagne sauce.
Oh, was it champagne sauce? Oh my god, so fancy. And you had pigeon, which was really unique.
Yeah.
And I had the monkfish, which was delicious. We also had, I had scallops with caviar and watermelon salsa, which was absolutely delicious and fresh. You had the foie gras with the gingerbread. Yeah.
So delicious.
And then we had a few amuse-bouches at the beginning and a big selection of desserts. The banana souffle, guys. Come for the banana souffle. It was the highlight for me.
I'm not a big person for souffle, but this souffle is
delicious. And we have a great table at the window overlooking the Chao Phraya River, watching all the boats running about, and great service. It's in the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, a very famous 5-star hotel on the banks of the river. And we're not staying here. You can book lunch on the website. And yeah, Michelin star.
Can we talk about free cake?
Oh, we got a free cake as well. Because when we booked, we said it was our anniversary, which it is. It's our 3rd anniversary today. That's why she looks so beautiful.
Just today?
Just today. Every day. And yeah, we've really enjoyed it. What would you give it out of 10?
10.
Me too. Okay, wow, we've made it to the end of the video. What a beast. I just wanted to put all of my best Bangkok experiences together in one video for you to enjoy, save or download, and maybe watch it on your flight over to Thailand. And yeah, just give you a bit of an ultimate guide to this beautiful and massive city. Like I said at the beginning, it can be very overwhelming, but I think if we look at this video neighborhood by neighborhood, I'm sure there'll be something in there for everyone watching, whether you want the cool hipster area of RE, or you want to get stuck in the old city, or you want to be in Silom in the middle of the business district with all of the classy establishments there. Bangkok is full of different neighborhoods, and I've had a joy over the past 12 months filming all of these adventures, and so this video lives by itself on the channel forever now. So enjoy. Don't forget to support NordVPN in the description. Get yourself protected while you're online and unlock the internet as it should be intended. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.